Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters podcast. We chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
Hello, listeners. Hello, John. And hello, all you fans of interesting takes on classic creatures.
Agreed. We'll start from the most agreed thing. This is an interesting take on classic creatures because, I mean, we got to rip the Band-Aid off of this one because this has been one of our most, eventually we'll get to it. It feels like on this show we always have sort of something in the future. Yes. For the first couple seasons of the show, it's like, we'd start talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula, and they go, wait, we got to save that for the episode. And this has been very much the same thing here. And I think, literally, probably years ago, our guest this week said, when you get to this, I'm claiming it. And we were probably in the 1980s when I was talking to them about that. So Elliott Lewis is back with us.
Yay!
Heyo!
That's right, folks, to talk about 2004's Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
And it needs to be said in as many weird, non-existent movie-only accents. Because this is a movie filled with movie accents.
There are attempts, and I can literally say it, there are attempts to Richard Roxburgh.
We're going to talk about Roxburgh.
My man.
Love him.
He is attempting here and there to actually put, if not true Romanian, there's definitely some Hungarian he's doing in there.
I mean,
which, Bela Lugosi was Hungarian.
Yeah, so. I think definitely taking some cues off that.
At least it's not a movie full of Romanian people, quote unquote, speaking with British accents.
No.
Looking at you, Dracula Untold, another movie that I love, but
ooh, that's a Gergoni claimed that one because he's a massive defender of that movie.
I mean, honestly, same. But
okay.
This is what I'll say.
That one I'm with you less on, but that's okay.
Here's a hot take, and I'm doing this like my brother does.
That's right. If you listen to our Vincent Price show, you know that Robin likes to lean into the mic as close as possible.
He leans into the mic
for his
hot
takes. Yeah.
But here's my hot take. I would rather watch Dracula Untold.
Oh, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Your mind. This movie is so much fun.
Fascinating.
This movie,
and I'm not a huge fan of Dracula Untold, but I would rather watch.
This movie is so much fun. That's my hot take on Van Helsing. This movie's a blast.
It wants to be.
It's
it
an
wants
absolute
to be a
blast.
thrill ride.
That's right, folks. This is going to be one of those. Now it's But I'm so that's why I'm so glad you are a fan of this movie, Elliott, and wanted to come on because I'm like, I know it's going to be a thing between Brendan and I because it's come up. So I'm glad to have some. This movie is a blast, man. I don't know how you didn't have fun with it. This movie, okay, and I also know you've done the show long enough. People listen. Like, this hits so many of the John Campbell hallmarks of a monster movie. I mean, there's no question, right? It is. It is almost as much of an adventure movie. It's filled with monster hunting gadgetry. And crazy weapons.
I'll do a big sweep kind of thing here, and I'll say that stuff doesn't bother me at all, and even the even the comic booky nature of it, because this is
I would think that would be part of the appeal. I mean, that's one of the big appeals to me.
I don't mind that either. But what's obvious is that Stephen Sommers thought iconography plus endless. The thing, this movie tires me out because it's trying to be an endless thrill ride. There is no stopping for any kind of character development or even logic. It's just boom, 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 boom. So by the end, I'm sitting there going, I was thinking not in terms of monster movies, but I was thinking about other action franchises like Mission Impossible, like Indiana Jones, like things like that. And I'm sitting there going, why are these good and this is bad? And I kept thinking, it's because those know how to build to an action sequence. This is just, you're just going to get action, 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 and it never builds. You literally sit there going, how many times can somebody be swooped up by a bat lady? How many times can someone swing on a rope? This has more rope swinging than a Spider-Man film.
And let me say, Another check mark in the John Campbell hallmark of a solid movie. I love swinging on ropes, and
I love
even better, grappling guns to swing on ropes.
Yes, but you pick your times to do it. It can't just be over and over. It gets boring. It's it's the same action beat.
There's a scene where Van Helsing swings on a trapeze in this.
Yeah,
and it rules.
It would rule. It would rule if that happened
on a trapeze. The Frankenstein monster gets an awesome swashbuckling swing on a rope.
Yeah, again, you really want to see somebody else swing on a rope. I'm sitting there going like, dude, the reason that the movies that, for instance, if Ethan Hunt, well, this is bad because you love anything that guy does. If Ethan Hunt,
I was gonna say, keep going. Movies, I don't care where this goes. Ethan Hunt's involved.
Yeah, if one of the Mission Impossible movies was, we need you to climb the outside of this ridiculously tall skyscraper.
Mm-hmm. That's like 5 of them, but okay.
Right, and we need you to really do it, Tom. No problem, got it. Then after your character gets what he needs, he goes to a impossibly tall skyscraper right next door, does it again. Okay, then he gets what he needs. Then he's got to do it at a third one. This movie's just like going, did you like that? Here it is again. Well, did you like that? Here it is again.
Here's what I will say. The closer thing, I think, the action franchise that comes to mind, and certainly one we've gone back and forth on, is I do think this is more in the Fast and Furious maximalist approach to action movies. There is, I mean, the rule over there, as we've talked about before, is there is logic and there is cool, and cool wins every time.
Cool would win here if it weren't so repetitive, and also it's just a dumb story. It's dumb.
And
it's got logic problems all through it. No one looked at the script. No one looked at it just to
Elliott,
go. And this, but I want some credit. Yeah. I've gone into all of this without once saying anything about, truth to the characters.
No. That's because I figured that'd be the case, because that's so not what they're interested in. That that's kind of that would be a pretty pointless. That's just like a broad strokes. Of course, this has no interest in having much more than the barest connection to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I don't or any of.
That's a nothing conversation, because it's just like. We agree. I mean, I think sure, yeah, we agree. No, this is not even real. Even though it's Universal, it's not even really attempting to do the Universal. It really is the Stephen Sommers MonsterVerse, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that we briefly mentioned during the Mummy episode, because I don't remember who initially brought it up, but I remember I was curious So between that movie and this movie, both being directed by Stephen Sommers, I was like, was there an attempt to do that Universal multiverse thing that they were trying a couple years ago with Dracula Untold and Tom Cruise Mummy? Mm-hmm. That attempt happened earlier in the late 90s and early aughts.
Yeah.
And this was the only culmination of that.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, right, is, I mean, it does feel like Universal is always trying to get back to the Universal Monsters, which I still stand by as a good goal, because obviously we love the Universal Monsters. And the idea that one of our biggest disappointments when we did those Monster Rally movies, back when we were doing the Universal Monster movies, is they all exist in the same world, but they didn't take enough of an advantage of that. Here, right. I definitely think, I mean, that's also kind of why I like this movie as much as I do, is I do feel like this does give us a Monster Rally movie that delivers a lot of the goods I want out of having all the monsters together. So I do think that's still a good goal for Universal, but for whatever reason, this is interesting though, because they jump to the end here. It is interesting as you bring up Elliott that it's not like they didn't then go, get in this director to do Dracula, get this person to come in and do Frankenstein, and then we'll put them together. They go mummy, everybody. It's closer to the DC model that we talk about, where it's like, Superman did pretty well, bring the whole Justice League in. You're like, whoa.
I mean, I wasn't in these meetings, of course, but I think this is so.
You specifically told me you were, and that's the only
Weren't
reason
you
you're
though?
Yeah.
I was in spirit.
You have to stop saying my best friend Stephen Summers then. No.
Yeah. I think that I think that there was no attempt here to try to build a universe.
No.
I think they were trying to launch a franchise for Van Helsing. And of course they would have brought Dracula back.
Yeah.
Or they would, I mean, had this been successful, obviously him as werewolfy thing. It's I still have some of that in me.
I think there's a potential he could have gone like Hulk with it, where he could bring it out when necessary. Right?
Yeah, they would have done stuff like that, and he would have fought. Probably would have fought the Mummy. It's like I could see Stephen Summers going, "Hey, what are you doing there, buddy? Can I get you back, Mr. Vosloo?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Hugh Jackman v. Arnold Vosloo.
I wonder who's going to get custody of the kids.
Whoever wins,
what did the judge decide in Jackman v. Vosloo? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But the thing about this is this was definitely meant to kick off a shared universe of stuff. Because do you guys know about the TV show that they? So here's the thing: they built this. They built this Transylvania town, right? And it was like one of the most expensive sets ever built. They built this entire village, and they go, "This is great. We're gonna build it, and we're not gonna touch it." And we're going to start writing a TV show set in Transylvania of this. And we already have the set. So there was going to be a whole series on NBC about this Transylvania town. And it was going to follow an American cowboy who comes there to be the sheriff of Transylvania. And Hugh Jackman would have made occasional guest appearances on the show as Van Helsing.
Down for that. I would have been down for that.
Why didn't we get this?
But then, yeah, because that was part of Universal's
because it would have been too cool.
Part of Universal's thought was, though, we can get more bang for our buck. We'll give Stephen Summers all this money he wants because we can get a ton of usage out of it. Now, what's weird is the only thing it got used for is for a number of years at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. They kept using the Transylvania set and redressed it as other stuff, and I think it has since been torn down. But they got their money with it as a theme park attraction. Now I'm jealous that people got to go there. I would love to have gone to this set.
Stephen Summers shot his shot, and I will give him credit for that, except for it was a dumb shot. But in other words, he did make them lots of money on 2 Mummy films, and they did basically just go.
Keep in mind, this is the thing, and I did the research. This movie did not bomb. This movie made money.
No.
It just didn't set the world on fire. Like this movie was not a failure, but they were expecting it to be. It didn't make Mummy numbers, but it's not he lost the studio money.
Mummy.
Because this thing almost doubled its budget, and then according to trivia, this movie has made a ton of money since. Like a lot, it's made infinitely more money.
I'm gonna say that's all from me.
Yeah.
All of that extra money since then is me.
Whenever Elliott sees it on sale anywhere,
I buy it.
I will say I do think I've owned it on all the formats. Because I was telling Brendan I have the 4K of it, but I had the Blu-ray and I had the DVD before that.
Stephen Summers just got another $4 from me because I've never owned this, and I rented it because that was the only way I could watch it.
This is one that I just like, well, all right, if they're going to put on a new Van Helsing, I got to do the thing. And also, I will say, watching this the other night, I might have gone onto eBay to look at the toys from this movie to go, wait a minute, can I get what's a Van Helsing figure go for? Because I really want a Van Helsing figure. And I'm starting to go like, are there any cool posters out there for this movie? Because I want, So there might be some more Van Helsing stuff that comes into this apartment, as there should be, because... Dude, So, and I did Brendan, I've told you about this, up at the Museum of Science Fiction and Horror up in Seattle. Have you been to the Mopop, Elliott? The Museum of Pop Culture?
But I'm going up to Seattle to visit a friend in November, so I'm going to try to see if we can take time to go there.
To the Museum of Pop Culture because I don't have a great photo of it. But they do have Van Helsing's crossbow, the one from the movie.
Yeah, the repeating crossbow.
They have the repeating crossbow. I've seen it in person because they have tons of just displays of props. They have a whole museum section that's just for sci-fi movies, and then a whole separate museum that's just horror movies, and then the rotating main thing. But they always have that stuff there. And of course, I was like, oh my god, it's the crossbow from Van Helsing. because it's the coolest thing in this movie. But Brendan's shaking his head. Yeah, and Brendan's just going like, God damn it, if he brings up that cross shotgun from Constantine again.
Again, I'm not
you're not anti-monster hunting weapons, I know.
Well, I'm not, and I'm also not anti goofier, or I mean, because for instance, I love Monster Squad, and that's not like
we love
we
stand the Monster Squad on this show.
We stand. I don't mind a comic booky or even juvenile, like approach to these characters, because you can't take them all seriously. And I like goofy.
In fact, we've also seen them go too far the other way and be bad because they've taken them too seriously too.
Yeah, exactly. And they can be stultifying and boring. Yep. But I find this one.
Speaking of the 2-part Hallmark Channel Frankenstein adaptation we just got through on here.
What I ask is
this might have come with a heart trigger warning after how much that slowed our heart rate down, that we watched this then after it. This is way too much adrenaline after watching.
This is way too much flop sweat is what it is. It's literally people on stage going, we're dancing as fast as we can. Are you liking it? Are you liking it? I can do something else. You want to see this? You want to see this?
Let me bring this up now. And look, I'm not here to add expert testimony or something here, but I will just say I went through the reviews from the time, and the
Roger Ebert liked it.
Roger Ebert was a big fan of this movie.
So
Roger Ebert was a big fan of this film, and he was going like, "This is what we go to the summer movies for, folks." Yeah, he loved it. He loved
a lack of logic. We go to the summer movies
he
for?
waxes so philosophically and
to turn our brains off.
He really loved. He particularly he goes. You've got to go, if only for the coach chase. Oh my God, this coach chase.
Yeah.
The coach that jumps.
Oh, it's the best.
A bridge.
It's the best, man. Anyway,
that can't.
I also, just on the thing about sequels, there was in the script, I don't think they actually shot, there was a cameo from the Gill Man. They were going to set up the creature from the Black Lagoon in this, which I am actually shocked. It's the one thing I can't believe they didn't do, is at the end you just have Van Helsing and Carl ride off. I did expect them to go, we've heard tell of something in another town, or or something's happening in Egypt, or
I similarly thought
there's something at the opera house, or any you would expect any number of things that they could have done. It's like, well, we better check it out.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised
I'm wondering if there was a version of that was shot, and then I don't know. They were just like, nah.
I don't know what the exact context of the Black Lagoon thing was. I mean, that does seem like it's like, well, we've heard reports in South America there's something in the water. It's like, we'll investigate.
And some crack about Carl getting seasick.
Yeah. Not another boat, Van Helsing. By the way, David Wenham, one of my MVPs in this movie. Love David Wenham as Carl.
I love David Wenham in anything.
He's fantastic, and one of those guys who can do anything, because he's so goofy here, and then he's fucking terrifying in The Proposition, and he's real creepy on Iron. He's one of the best things in the Netflix Iron Fist show by far.
I don't
so
know
compelling. Again, this will just be me. Very compelling and sympathetic in The Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also really strong in 300 as well, having to actually kind of carry much of the movie as the guy telling the story. So Wenham really, I mean, look, once again, I don't know that anyone's really going to fight us on that. Wenham's fantastic.
No, probably not.
Well, actually, one thing I won't.
I think the whole cast here is actually really good. Who you gonna fight us on?
Frankenstein's creature, that guy, what the hell is he doing?
Whoa!
What is he doing?
Wow, actually, one of my favorite performances in this, and...
Really? You literally like the first word out of the guy's mouth is, why, but then he turns it into a song? He literally goes, why?
Now,
at the top of that, and you're like, what are you doing, man?
He is a very well-respected Broadway musical theater actor, and... most interesting piece of trivia, he goes from this to doing Young Frankenstein on Broadway as the creature.
Which he probably killed. It's just so strange that he's doing that. Plus, the design is horrible, but that's not on him at all. The design with where his head... I love the
design, too!
You love the design?
Love the design.
Where his head is a PC case that has one of those like light up things. It's constantly going.
Yeah,
I'm like going,
it's like they built a brain for him as opposed to putting.
He has the android like. His head opens up.
He's a
little
techier of a Frankenstein monster, which I kind of dig.
No.
I like when his face comes apart briefly, he has to put it back together.
No, that's what I'm.
I know that's cool, man. I like that.
That's
I like that.
Cool.
I like that. I thought that was cool, but
since the 1960s cartoon Frankenstein Jr. have I seen this compelling a Frankenstein monster. For the uninitiated, he's a giant robot in that.
Yeah,
and a little boy rides on his back,
and that was cool too in its own way. Let's get into the movie itself, and we'll talk about the individual pieces of it as they come up here in the plot.
That's the interesting. That's what this movie was. Oh, right. It was missing a plot. Just joking. Actually, it has a plot. It just has no logic.
Let's go. Yeah,
or thought.
There's a lot of plot here. Dracula's got a big old evil plan going.
Kate Beckinsale, worst vampire hunter of all time. Ooh. And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. She literally says to Van Helsing, "Oh, yeah, they're amazed because no one here has killed a vampire in 100 years."
Yeah.
Then what have you been doing, lady?
Well, her family
and these brides.
Her family's getting. Well, I mean, like.
She hasn't done a damn thing.
Yeah,
she poses and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But the
sword.
brides mock her. They all know her. Like, "Hi, Anna. How you doing? Haha. I'm gonna go take some more blood from people."
Well, if she was a good vampire hunter, then she wouldn't need help from the Vatican.
Yeah,
that's right.
And the movie wouldn't happen.
Sure. So maybe not pose her as being this badass vampire hunter. Because she clearly has never killed any vampires. She's not over 100 years old, and no one's killed a vampire here in 100 years. Then what have you been doing, my dear lady?
I mean,
what have you been doing?
Let's get into the plot here, because number one, I want to talk about this absolute banger of an opening sequence. What a great beginning. We start in black and white. Number one, love the universal globe catching fire and turning into a torch. Held by I mean, come on, Brent, you got to give him this opening. It's really cool.
It is. It is until.
No.
Here's the thing. He is capturing. Like I said, it is iconography. He is taking moments and visuals that you want.
He loves this. I mean, there's no doubt about anything. Stephen Sommers is psyched about all this.
Right. But then he immediately says to the audience. And it's okay that he's coming up with his own story, but you sit there going like, so, and by the way, he's like, yeah, you like the pitchfork and the torch-bearing villagers? How about 400 of them? That's pretty awesome because he's going to go, it's all pumped up.
He's giving us what those old movies couldn't. That's what I love about this. It's like, oh man, modern technology, big budget, amassing what was in my head when I watched these old movies.
But these 400 people with torches are after Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes. Because
of grave robbing. The creature has not existed yet. The creature they don't know anything about a creature.
Well, they know
this movie, there's been no rampage and children killed or whatever.
But they know.
And this, literally, they're after him for grave robbing.
But they also know there's vampire trickery about.
They are not saying anything about vampires until they start wheeling out of the sky. At this point, they are going to Frankenstein's castle.
This is a village that is constantly besieged by supernatural forces, and they are here to go, no more of this shit. I don't know what's going on here, but it's bad news.
I believe we're supposed to think the town.
I believe we're supposed to think the town thinks anything could be rotting from the head of Dracula.
You know what they could have done? Stephen Sommers, in like 2 sentences, could have said that Dracula has enlisted Dr. Frankenstein to reproduce his, creature. So in other words, Frankenstein could already have a rep, and these people are after him for the previous creature. He's making another one for the Count because the Count's making him. You could have done that, and therefore we get the history of the original movies or whatever. It doesn't have to tie in. But this guy is a nobody, and 400 people want to burn him down because he was digging up graves. Doesn't make any sense. If he already is the demonic Dr. Frankenstein who created a monster, that's better. This could be monster number 2. I don't even give a shit about that. The other one was killed. Dracula wanted his own. That makes sense.
Well, clearly something like that is, or at least Dracula's aware of the research enough to bring this guy in. Elliott,
I know.
I want your thoughts on this, because this is turning into...
Sorry, it just story-wise, this makes no sense. Dr. Frankenstein doesn't even have a rep yet. And the creature is just being created now for Count Dracula. It's dumb. Sorry, dumb story take. And you're right. Visually, I'm liking all this stuff. I like that he starts in black and white. I like that it's handsome. He spends the crazy amounts of money. Every time they do something like the big masquerade ball scene, I'm like, look at the money on, and I just sit there going, but it's in service of this.
Estimated $160 million budget on this thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to once again quote my old pal Roger, who called this opening sequence virtuoso.
Okay.
Elliott, how do you feel about the black and white prologue?
Yeah, I really like it. I saw this movie in the theater.
Same here.
My dad took me to see this.
Yep.
We snuck some popcorn chicken into the theater.
Oh, that's how you do it. Yeah, my dad always had the big coat packed with, I got a thing over here and a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not paying those trumped up prices.
Yeah, I mean this movie, like, it did. I was 11, like I said, when this came out.
Summer
you know,
of 04.
it was very effective as both a horror movie and like an action film. I was notoriously a scaredy cat when I was a kid.
We've talked about that. So was I. Brendan, were you that too? Because I feel like there's a lot of horror fans that were kind of scaredy cats.
I
find
originally, I mean, yes, at that age, because I saw, in fact, almost that exact same age, I saw like my first PG movies. And they were horror movies, like Grizzly, and I saw not that it's a very scary movie, but The Deep, which has like this gigantic eel thing that pops out. It's a jump scare. And I remember like,
that's the same thing that happened to me. Mine was Independence Day when the alien slams Brent Spiner up against the. I don't think I'd ever been in a theater where there was like a jump scare, and I was like, what? Movies can, and I do think that seems to be a common thing. All of us are big horror fans. And almost every horror fan I talked to was a really scared, sensitive kid.
Not wanting to embarrass my nephew.
Yourself.
Not wanting to embarrass my nephew.
Who is a massive horror fan, but I think
who is a massive horror fan, but I was slightly concerned as his uncle because he would get scared at things like Rise of the Guardians.
Right.
Like something would be on, and he would be like, I don't want to look at that. And he would hide his eyes. And I'm like, oh, he's very sensitive. And at some point in his teen years, she's like going, oh, wait. Oh, horror's great.
I know. I think that seems to be a common trajectory for a lot. If you listen to With Gorley and Rust, one of my favorite horror podcasts, they were both that. I mean, you can listen to Matt Gorley's trauma of seeing Halloween from the hallway of his house on a TV in the living room. And now he's like the slasher movie expert. So, you know, it's like a thing. It's like, I think that it's like that initial scare. And then I think it's some part of us starts to go, well, now I need to like investigate and become obsessed in some way. Like there's some, those early traumas in some ways, like eventually draw you to the thing.
I want to apologize to you guys. I feel like I am attacking a movie that you both really love. And I don't want to sit here and judge something that goes back to your childhood.
No, and nor do we want you to like not have your opinion either, because we're just here to be like,
and I think that this has come up before with me specifically is like so like I don't know. There's something, right? Like I just don't agree. I don't agree that it doesn't make sense. Which like that is like, right, that is a subjective opinion like at its base anyway. Like I just don't like the town, like we learn like the trajectory of the movie, like, okay, maybe it doesn't make sense like as like the first time you're like, wow, all these like the whole village showed up just because this guy is robbing graves. And then we learn that like the next time that we see this village is like a stranger comes and everybody's like, wow, we need to kill this dude.
It's true.
And like we already know that there are vampires that like
I think they're just
like harass the people of this town.
They're
and
just,
then
like,
we
ready
learn
to go, right? Like
right, we gain all like this information as we go through the movie. And I just think like in retrospect, it does make sense. And I don't think that that's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm. But how about let's get to this idea. I love, regardless of the motivations of the mob, I love the idea that Dracula is like backing the Frankenstein research for his own ends. That is the Dracula we love on the show, which is super villain, huge machinations, world domination Dracula. And so I love the reveal. You see all the classic, and there are pieces in here from the original James Whale set and props and stuff.
Oh, nice.
The spinning stuff and the pylons and things like that. He's using. I mean, being the nerd he is, Stephen Sommers is raiding a Universal warehouse somewhere, going, they use that in the car. I gotta put that over here and do that. And yes, the coming off of the two Mummy movies he made, which were both huge hits, they clearly were just like, go. Whatever you need.
Yeah, we won't limit
resources.
how many items you can check out from the warehouse.
Yeah. Stephen Sommers had that is a little bit kind of what I don't care.
This is a blank check movie.
This is 100% a blank check movie, especially because he's staying in the genre. What I don't like is they do really drop him after this, and the movie is not enough of a failure for me to think they've just like, get the fuck out of here, you. It's all. I mean, it is always the Hollywood thing of what have you done for us lately, right? And it's always just like, okay, this one didn't quite hit, and they're like, you're done at this studio, man. And I don't know that I was looking around going, what is Stephen Sommers up to? Kind of nothing, but there's a large contingent online. I think probably people like you and I, Elliott, who are going like, when is someone going to give him another chance at something?
You know what? I bet he could
put him
do
in,
a great.
coach.
What I think he would do a fine job is just directing.
Sure.
I don't think he's a good writer. I just don't. I don't think he's good.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I disagree. I mean, I think he is really.
I
good
enjoy
at
The Mummy, and I like enough of The Mummy 2, mainly because of carried on the charms.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I mean,
of that cast,
I think he's really good at finding good actors and knowing how to use their charm really well.
Yeah, that's a directorial.
Sure, yeah, because I think, I mean, we'll get to Van Helsing here in a second, but also he just keeps casting leading men I'm obsessed with. So, because it is sort of like, well, he doesn't have Brendan Fraser, but who's this Hugh Jackman? You say, well,
Hugh Jackman,
fresh off of X-Men, first one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
he'd done the first two at this point. Yeah, he's played Wolverine twice.
Look, if you want a tortured, possibly immortal monster hunter guy, you want to get a really handsome Australian guy with the most coiffed hair,
luxurious.
Oh my! He talk is luxuriously coiffed.
Actually a big part of it's in the trivia that they spent a ton on his hair extensions.
Of course,
because once again, we're talking about the blank check of this. It's just like down to we're not just going to put a wig or something on him. We're going to put in the most exact, highest quality hair extensions on Hugh Jackman.
And it looks good.
He looks good. He looks damn good in this movie. I love the whole aesthetic of him in this. I love the coat and the hat. By the way, it is interesting that when you talk about that, Brendan, that he's played at this point. He's done Wolverine twice, and the other big thing he did was Kate and Leopold, where he's a time displaced. Right. He just there's something about him that's like this guy is just not going to be from the here and now or be super comfortable in the world. That just seems to be what Hugh Jackman is in Hollywood. It's like he's got to be immortal or from the past or something, because this man can't just be part of society.
The thing the comic book nature, like I said, doesn't bother me. It's interesting that did you ever listen to How Did This Get Made do this one?
Oh, of course, yeah. I think Seth Rogen was on that one with them, which I always enjoy.
Maybe so. They were all obsessed with the hat. Mm-hmm. They couldn't get over it. Like literally, they were like, that what's going on there. And
it's a big
of
old
course,
hat.
none of them are as nerdy, perhaps, in a way.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there going, it's Solomon Kane.
Solomon Kane's hat. Yeah.
But I sit there going, like, it's interesting that they have firmly told us this is the 1880s.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're in Victorian time.
Yeah.
No one would be wearing Puritan hats that are from the 17th century.
But he's a man out of time.
Yeah, but I got
time.
Like I said, I don't mind it because it's like his costume.
Yeah.
Basically, Stephen Sommers said, I want the aesthetic of Solomon Kane. I want to put it in classic Universal 1880s.
Yeah.
And I also want him to be Bond. All of that, I'm okay with.
Can we add another point to the checklist for my movies? It's also a Bond movie, basically. I mean, it's not even kind of it's completely a Bond movie.
The Vatican
Yeah,
Vatican is literally the fucking MI6.
Yeah, it's literally structurally, it's structured like a Bond movie. Getting the mission, getting the gadgets
at
going
the very
there,
beginning.
Meeting the supervillain who has this plan, and we got to go to his
base. He
base.
has the first mission, the pre-credit mission.
Yeah, because let's get to
his new assignment, and he's got his equipment. In this case, Q goes with him.
Yeah,
because you got to have the wacky sidekick.
Well, Stephen Sommers, and actually, I think that's something that really works about his monster movies to me, and that I would like to see more of, because it feels like there's an interesting thing whenever they try to bring back, what are they trying to capture? I think we've talked about this before, Brendan. When they always say, like, we want to get back to the Universal monsters, like, what are we trying to capture? And it feels like too much of the time they're like, horror, it needs to be scary, and I'm like, I don't really think of those movies as scary. I think Stephen Sommers does get that they should be fun. Now, we can talk about what the balance on that is, or what's working with you, Brendan, but I do think the idea of really trying to make them scary, I don't know if that's not... I like that Sommers gets that there should be a sense of adventure, and there should be some comedy in there. Once again, ratios we can argue, but this idea of making them grimdark is not what I want out of a Universal monster
and
movie.
I don't need that either, necessarily. I've read literal comic books from DC or Marvel that have had these classic monsters teamed up, and some of them are so much better than this movie, and they're still not like, incredibly serious.
We always talk about Tomb of Dracula in here, which I do think is a great like that kind of tone taken to the Universal monster movies.
Sure, but I also often bring up, and I know that you listened to it, but that book and record set, and I know that sounds hilarious, but from the 70s, there was a book and record set, which really is aided by the art is by Neil Adams. So that makes just amazingly good, but it's literally called
way too good for what that should be, right?
Yeah, but I think it was just called A Story of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. It's like that's the title, and even that, which lasts all of maybe 25 minutes or 30 minutes on an LP, is a better idea, and has the same idea, is that Dracula has enlisted Frankenstein's monster specifically to be his guide, and two people accidentally end up at Castle Dracula. But before that, they are attacked by a werewolf, and they kill the werewolf. But basically, towards the end, the guy is Frankenstein's son or grandson, so he knows all the secrets, and he's like, you have to bring the monster back to life for me. And the wife, the girlfriend, is the one that was bitten by the werewolf. She shows up as the werewolf at the end, saves the day, and it's like, we will find a cure for you. And that's the end. They defeat Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. That's real basic, and yet it actually is thought through, and it's dramatically represented, and it's still a comic book. I'm not asking for it to be really grim, dark, but this thing is, again, I keep going like, I want to enjoy this world, and Stephen Sommers keeps making it too dumb for me. Too dumb. Just too dumb.
Too fun is the answer, sir. That's what I want.
Yeah, because I want a lot of vampire brides. I want them pretty much to be the main villain throughout the whole movie, and I want one of them to at least once say, too bad, so sad.
Yeah, man.
That's some good
These are some good vampire brides, man. I disagree on that. I love so much so that one of my other favorite pieces of trivia, Dracula actually married one of these women. Richard Roxburgh still married to one of the brides of Dracula who we met on this. They're still married. They have 3 children. That's delightful.
That is delightful.
He married the dark-haired one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and there.
Yeah. Oh, the dark.
I think she's the second one to die.
She's the second one to die. Yeah, because was it Elena Anya?
I think
is the main one that makes it through the movie, and she goes on to be Dr. Poison in the Wonder Woman movie.
Oh yeah,
she's very cool. She's got a real cool vibe.
Elena
about her.
Anaya, she's like a legit actor.
Yeah. She goes on to do she's
Latin
a
American.
Pedro Almodovar.
Spanish. Yeah,
Spanish. Yeah, Pedro Almodovar
Mm-hmm.
has used her in a bunch of movies. I immediately, of course, go to from the Universal Monsters movie to the DC Comics movie she was in. But yes, no, she's extremely well.
Those are high profile. Yeah, she's like a legit actor. I will say I think the other two are, and no offense, but I think they're primarily models. Like
yes, and I think that they did a very good job for being primarily models. Models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I watched enough cycles of ANTM to know that models are not always the best actors.
Oh, Lord, no. Lord, no. I'm not going to take away. I understand modeling is a skill, and it can aid in acting, but it's not.
Yes.
It's the same thing with, like, the pop singers, right? Where you go like, no,
right,
I understand where you're seeing the charisma, but it's not a one-to-one, you know?
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
So let's talk about this Bondian opening where we, of course, start on Van Helsing finishing up a mission here, which I told you, Brendan, I tried to find, and I'm so upset it's not anywhere. There is a half-hour animated prequel short that is Van Helsing hunting Mr. Hyde, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know why it's not on the 4K. It should be, but I couldn't find. I thought maybe
I saw
it
it mentioned in the Wikipedia, and I was like, oh,
it was released as like a Best Buy exclusive.
I think they called it the Paris Mission.
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
it
that.
was. Yeah, the Van Helsing, the Paris Mission, and it has all that. It has Hugh Jackman doing the voice of Van Helsing. It has Robbie Coltrane being Mr. Hyde.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the
R.I.P.
great Robbie Coltrane from the Bond movies. You know, I mean, they have an actual Bond person in there, which is great.
And Harry Potter.
And Harry Potter. Yeah, I mean, well, pretty much if it was a British thing, Robbie Coltrane was involved. I think, like,
Yeah, they only got like 12 actors over there, so
it's true.
But and they're all in this movie too. No, I love that piece of trivia that they go like, other than Kevin J. O'Connor, everyone is non-American in this cast.
Kevin J. O'Connor,
Shuler Hensley, actually, the guy who played Frankenstein, and Kevin J. O'Connor, who is, of course, Stephen Summers' Lucky Charm, as we know. He loves.
Oh yeah, his precious little meow meow.
Loves that guy. And if you thought he was doing a lot in The Mummy, he said, "Hold my beer" on this one, because he is. I mean, we've already seen him in the prologue, and he is going for it. As if, I guess, does he ever not? But holy God.
I didn't understand. I mean, the take on Igor being, like the hunchback guy. Of course, that's classic. But I'm like, what's up with this? Why did they like make a latex mask? What's Igor's thing?
He looks cool, man.
Is he just?
I don't know. It seems like
he tortures people. That's his thing. He says it later.
I love that. I love that he seized upon that from the Dwight Frye course, which, and look, the nerds who watch this show know that character's name was Fritz, not Igor, but of course
that's right.
We're just gonna. He's combined the Bela Lugosi and the Dwight Frye.
I love him, and one reason why I think Stephen Summers was smart to keep bringing back is he's a really great actor, but
really great.
He definitely gets the vibe they're going for. He did in The Mummy. He did here.
He does in Deep Rising, which I recommended before too.
Like 2 or 3 times in the movie, every time he goes, "Yes, master," I know he is having a blast.
Well, I feel like he has some of the energy.
Yes, master.
He has some of the energy that we loved from Dwight Frye in those movies, right? These weird character actors who just go all in on the material. Stephen Summers. Then, of course, Stephen Summers did the first G.I. Joe movie after this, and he cast Kevin J. O'Connor's Dr. Mindbender in that because who else is going to be Dr. Mindbender?
I mean, but he turned the part down.
He brought everybody over. He had Brendan Fraser in that. He had Arnold Vosloo in that. I mean, he's Summers had his people there. That's why I know there's a lot of people who really want another Rick O'Connell Mummy movie because we're in the Fraser-sance, and dude, let's do it and let's get Summers back. And if you want other people to help write it, that's fine. But I think there's a lot of there's so much nostalgia for this stuff. So yes, he's hunting Mr. Hyde. One of the things I love in this movie is and this is not unique to this, but it's the thing I love about the Monster Hunter is just a murderer to people. Because, and you get the line later, he talks about, well, you send me out to hunt them as monsters. I'm there when they turn back into men. Cool. And the introduction of seeing him as the wanted poster, and he tears it down, cool. I also think that was, Summers talked about the hat, the coat. He wanted that Indiana Jones, something recognized in silhouette.
A silhouette. Yeah. And that is actually very comic book artist thinking. It's like you want to create a design that's unique and iconic enough to where people would not even need to see
I don't know, Brady, does it feel
say,
like Stephen Summers probably likes comic books?
Yeah, I think he does.
I think he might be into comic books, yeah.
No, all that is fine. And I'm not even... You know what they could have also done? It's not called this Van Helsing.
Well, sure.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like if this exact same character with the same backstory, all of that, I don't remember my past and this mysterious monster hunter that works for the Vatican. That's a very cool idea.
Yeah.
Calling him Van Helsing just confuses it because you're like going.
Well, it's a double-edged sword there, right? Because to people like you, that's the thing, but also. To most people, they just know Van Helsing as a Monster Hunter name. That's very much a studio thing, right? There was no way it wasn't going to be Van Helsing. So I don't disagree, but it's just the nature of it. They did. I do think it's interesting. They're like, why'd they call him Gabriel Van Helsing? And of course, there is
what they could have had was the head of the what's the name of the society that he's working for. The Brotherhood or the something.
Yeah, actually,
I think it's just called the Brotherhood,
or it's something like that. They could have had the head of that be Abraham Van Helsing.
Well, a thing I always thought was like, why'd they call him Gabriel? And I know people have talked about, is he the Archangel Gabriel?
Oh, no. I'm just saying they could have had.
They could have had that, but and this still would have worked for that. But the reason is Universal wanted to copyright their own Van Helsing.
Right. No, but what I'm saying
Abraham Van Helsing's.
Classic Abraham Van Helsing, old Dutch guy, could have been the head of it.
Yes.
And maybe he just
adopted the name because he didn't have a back. Yeah, sure. Yes. I mean, and it's actually
like,
there's still...
Again, there's these little tweaks you could have made twerks. There's a lot of hip and butt dancing.
I do agree Jackman could have twerked more in the movie.
Oh, he could have.
I also agree. Man's got a nice ass.
Well, and actually, that's one of the best pieces of trivia is in the way they shot it. He was nude when he came out of his werewolf form, and they digitally put a loincloth because they said people were distracted by his ass in those scenes.
Well, yeah. I'm glad that at least in the original version that wasn't there, because I kept having a problem with, and it's with her brother too.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, we see the werewolf, and he's completely covered in hair. He's just a wolf man.
Test audiences could not get past.
Then he changes back and he's got clothes on. It's like the old Hulk cartoon, where anytime he turned back into Banner, the clothes would reappear.
Yeah, that's
whoa, huh?
Yeah, nonsense. But I will say, thank God, folks, that you can go watch X-Men: Days of Future Past, and there's a lot of Hugh Jackman ass in that.
A lot of jackass.
Yeah. I mean, he's naked all over those X-Men movies.
They couldn't get clothes back on him, famously.
Look, I've heard the what he had to do to get those physiques for that Wolverine. Holy crap! And here he is. Of course, he looks amazing. He's not quite at Wolverine.
No, he's not crazy cut.
He's got that Australian build. Those guys, they just... Yeah. I mean, people talk about, like, you...
He's got that beach bod. That Australian beach bod.
Who talked... I wish I could remember who said this. Is like, they have to be built like that because that country is just ever trying to kill you.
It's evolutionary at this point.
They just... Because you do go, like, all these beefy action stars are Australians. Like, well, yeah, you can't... Those are the people that survive Australia.
They have to wrestle a kid news.
They're perfect.
Like, immediately on birth.
So he is hunting Mr. Hyde here, which I do also like the trivia point out. No, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were never technically universal monsters. Okay, yeah, fine. Technically, that was over at MGM, I believe, was the Spencer
I don't
Tracy.
give a shit about that.
But
one thing, they're all public domain.
But you do want to talk about gigantism, right?
I want to talk about gigantism.
But this is a running problem on not just on the show, but in things in general. Brendan often thinks things and characters are too big in modern films.
Well, we can do this because of CG. It's not, but you might want to say, why should we? The thing with Mr. Hyde is he's not a giant.
But he could be.
The whole idea is that Mr. Hyde could walk amongst people, and he looks wicked. He looks almost apish because it is the repressed stuff in Jekyll that's come out, but he doesn't gain, he
doesn't get gains. That's why
he doesn't get gains. So in other words, this guy could never walk the streets of London and pick up prostitutes and murder them or whatever, like Mr. Hyde did. If you're literally 12 feet tall,
he can't pick them up like that. He can pick them up like
he can take them to the top of the Empire State Building.
He doesn't even break stride. He just grabs a prostitute off the street and carries it with
him. One under each arm. That's right.
I do like Van Helsing.
Slam dunks him.
I do like Detective Van Helsing though, finding the dead prostitute and then the cigar and being like,
Yeah, no, I like all that.
And then
and I even like the whole thing about, you drove me out of London. It's like, thanks for this wound. I like all of that. It's like, but can we please calm down on the fucking CG where he's a fucking giant?
I'm wondering, and I'm always trying to bring up League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because I know that it's a wound. And I'm evil.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if this has anything to do with that. Like
we were talking about that before you got on here, Elliot, that this is definitely taking it's in similar line with the Alan Moore Kevin O'Neill comic, which is interesting that the movies came out the same year.
But the comic had been out.
The comics had been out, yeah. And I
think that
there's no way that wasn't planted in his head because the design is similar, and that's the first place I can think of where I really saw this sort of hulking Mr. Hyde and something.
And I, like I said before, in the comic, which I love, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I have no problem with giant Hyde.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen are perfect.
Yeah, I have no problem with giant there because it is an artistic interpretation. That guy is stylized anyway. He draws the Nautilus the size of London. It's like the biggest ship ever.
It rules.
I know it all rules and I love it, but it's a comic. And even in the comic, as I said, Alan Moore, the writer, is saying like, Hyde over time has just grown because Jekyll gave up trying. So in other words, he actually came up with an excuse for why Hyde is now like a Hulk sized thing. In this thing, there's not even that. It's just, this was always Mr. Hyde in this world. And he puts on his little top hat when he's fighting. He's smoking the cigar. He's pulling up his saggy pants. And you're like going, this was just an excuse for them to go like, yeah, you like CG? Look at that. You never thought you'd see a Hyde like that. I'm like, I didn't want to.
And I mean, Elliot, I don't want to steal your catchphrase here from the Mummy movies, but it's pretty bitchin'. I don't know, man.
It's pretty bitchin'. This fight
is pretty goddamn
bitchin'.
I mean, can we talk about buzzsaws on the hands? Because hell yeah. It's awesome, man. What doesn't this guy have? He's got buzzsaws on the hands. He's got these sweet pistols, which are not at all. I mean, I love the trivia going like, well, they're custom designed pistols, but they're most closely resemble the Webley 1837 six-shooter. It's like, yeah, they probably use that as a base, but then they've got the crosses on the handles. He's got. Later, when he has the cross that like comes out of his sleeve and like it's on like a mechanism, I just love this movie. Is boy, if you're into like any kind of steampunk stuff, this movie will get you.
This is very much a steampunk movie, yes,
and I'm here for it.
And same way with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which in a weird way, I think that comic was also influential towards steampunk. I'm not saying it came out before steampunk. But I think that it became iconic because people sitting there going like, Kevin O'Neill's art, he was not, I'm sure Alan Moore said, no, this isn't London. You go, you do you. And so the big statues and all that stuff. And yeah, I think that the steampunk aesthetic is very cool. And I don't think there's still to this day
you want to get to my League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, like unconventional, super unpopular opinion is I'm going to talk about the Barry Sonnenfeld Wild Wild West, but talking about steampunk stuff, and I
mean that is a steampunk aesthetic,
but I won't go to bat for that movie. I really enjoy that movie a lot. I know. Like I said, we've all got our things. I really like the Wild Wild West movie. But we've talked about that. We've talked about that before. Brendan, that's not new information to you.
I don't remember you saying you liked it. And
I do. I've seen that movie many times.
I need to talk to your parents. Can you get me on the phone?
Oh man, that was a distinct time. I remember walking out of a theater where my dad and I were not in sync. I was like, that was ruled. He was like, that was horrible.
Wickety, Wild Wild West.
Oh man, I had that album, of course, too. I was all about Will Smith at that time.
Elliot, I like that you can call it up as
the song rules. The song rules.
The tie-in song kicks ass. Everything else is terrible.
I think that's generally the opinion. I do.
Except for I will. This is the one thing I'll say for it. Across the board, it seems like an odd, and it didn't quite play. But I love the casting. I had no problem with Will Smith as having James West. I love
his life in that
Kenneth
movie.
Branagh casting as Loveless. I mean, you can't go wrong with that cast until you do. Until that movie comes out and you're like, oh. But I mean, Kevin Kline as Artemis Gordon, perfect. It just isn't a bad movie.
My dream to derail a podcast by talking about Wild Wild West.
It's like Henry Cavill, perfect Superman in terrible Superman movies. That is a bad problem.
Do still like those movies, though. I understand the complaints, but that's
Oh my god!
That we have definitely gone back.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, we get him. We get this fight with Hyde. Yes, there's swinging because you get. Oh man, when he gets thrown off of this bell tower and then he impales Hyde with his grappling gun. That's awesome, man. That's what I want to see. But of course, yes, he turns back. Also, you know what I like when he cuts off Hyde's arm and then the arm turns human
back
into the ground.
Very
cool. And then of course that just sets up for everybody sees him, and you get one of my favorite things in the world, which is Victorian Londoner just going murderer. That's what I want. I also love anyone screaming murder. Like that was just how. There was no phone, so you would just yell murder.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I know. I love that, and that feels very actually very Hammer to me in that sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, though, he goes back to the Vatican. By the way, the Wikipedia just lists them as the Holy Order, is what they are calling his.
Okay.
Group.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I remember them having some kind of name in there,
I do too.
You know what? I'm not gonna go back and do rewatch
So
to find out.
It's okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, don't worry.
You do the research and get back to me, Elliot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Between Elliot and I, we've seen this movie enough for like 20 people.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I did not watch the movie. I've seen it enough times. I'm gonna do I'm gonna go through this rest of this episode, and you guys try to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I already told you that I didn't watch the movie again for the episode, but
yeah. I will say
there are movies I can totally do that with. Absolutely. I took
less notes than I normally do on this from that. I just sort of so a lot of my notes sometimes I go like this happens.
Well,
this happens,
your notes are just like swings, jumps.
Bitchin'.
I wrote they were
yanked
similar.
up.
They were
gets
similar
pulled
to
up by a bat lady.
Actually,
dropped.
I don't even have to do that. I pretty much just
yanked
write
by another bat lady.
I just wrote down like Mr. Hyde fight, and I'm like, I know the beats of it. And then of course, as I did with the Mummy movies as well, I just wrote down lines I thought were cool.
Yeah,
a lot of my notes are just badass lines from this movie because I do think I like Summers' ability to give me a very comic booky one-liner too.
But they're not good. There's I think the only good line in this entire movie really is the thing where and I'm gonna paraphrase it because I can't remember it exactly, where she goes, well, are you a killer or are you a saint or whatever? And he goes, little both.
Fuck yeah.
It's good. And this is what I'll say to Hugh Jackman.
You don't like they just want this.
You're great, Hugh Jackman, because you are trying more than Kate Beckinsale. You are trying in this movie to every now and then elevate it and actually make a character like where you sit there going like
he's haunted.
When he's talking about like I wish I remembered my family. I wish I knew what I was fighting for. I don't even know. And you're like going, oh my God, there's the glimmer of character work. And you're like, oh, and I do like those moments because at that point it stops being so two-dimensional. I was like, oh, good. There's a little bit of thought and care, but then it's followed up by quip and shoot at a bat thing.
He's actually not very quippy, which I like. Most of the quips are Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, most of the quips are or funny sidekick.
Yeah.
Stuff.
He gets which once again, Wenham, treasure in this thing.
Love him.
But okay, so he goes back to the Vatican headquarters, which I love. It's you open up the
confession box,
and you go down into Q branch, basically, and it's 100% the Bond scene where you're testing this material. But
here's another problem. Another problem.
This episode will be titled Van Helsing.
We are not going to get through this movie.
Well, the society has been around for centuries.
Sure.
Backed by the Vatican.
Yeah.
And they fight monsters. However, they seem to be like, how do you know so much about vampires? and then the quip is like the psychic goes, because I read. I love that. That's great. Yep. That's like, you're out there doing your stuff, but I'm the studious guy. And then immediately followed up with like, what is this? What does it do? Well, it creates a brilliant burst of light, like the sun. He goes, what do you use it for? And he goes, I don't know yet.
What are you talking about? Maybe you could
They're about to go up against vampires.
Maybe you could
and he's
blind
going
your
like,
enemies.
I don't know what that's about. I don't know why I made it. And the audience is like, everyone's lifting their arms going, I do. I know where this will come in handy.
Yes.
Hey,
but the
movie.
But the difference is, that is true. But I'm going, I can't wait to see him do that then.
But also, it dispels the idea that who have they been fighting for all these centuries? And he does mention werewolves. They fought werewolves.
Well,
he
was just fighting a Mr. Hyde or whatever.
I know, but the whole thing is, a Mr. Hyde,
Mr. Hyde. A Frankenstein.
A Frankenstein. But you
got to stop all these Draculas, man.
The idea that vampires are like, well, we haven't dealt with one of those before. You're like, you mean one of the most iconic of supernatural creatures that harms humans?
To be fair,
fight?
I don't really know what their how many vampires. Because it does seem like
he's all the way in Transylvania.
The Transylvanians,
been a problem until now.
They seem to really.
And also,
have a problem,
Brendan, it's the Catholic Church. Of course, they weren't going to get involved until someone wasn't going to go to heaven.
Right, but also they know about.
It's not even about the. It's not about the blood drinking. It's just this guy is he's a real bad look for us.
They know about crosses and holy water, and let's make sure you got some silver and tipped, darts and stuff. And I love all this stuff. It's fun.
It's gold.
But then to mention a sunlight bomb and then say I don't know what good this will be is just stupid. It's just dumb.
It's fun, and David Wenham, oh my God, he is just so in on this character, and I love the whole thing about it. He's not a priest, he's a friar.
I'm not a... You can't swear.
Yeah, I liked. That's a little bit of the fun. I can
swear all I want.
He can swear later. He can fuck. It's a whole thing, man. It is.
He gets it.
Yeah, man.
Carl gets it.
Yeah, man. I just want you. Yeah, Carl gets it.
Carl
gets it, and Van Helsing.
Carl is the only one who gets it in the whole movie.
I know.
There's a kiss with Kate Beckinsale, but
he
that's
fucks.
As Van Helsing.
Yeah.
This guy fucks.
Yeah, Van Helsing gets a kiss, and then he gets a cringe-worthy looking into the sky and faces in the clouds.
Okay, that is one thing I do not like that.
Holy shit, that's horrible.
2 problems with this movie. Count them. 2.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
One of them is
the movie.
Agreed.
One of them is that bit at the end.
It's so unnecessary and silly. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one that is the only Brendan, you'll like this because it's a writing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to figure out when to bring this up because I did this math a few years ago in preparation for being on this episode because it occurred to me one time while I was watching it. You watch a movie so many times that eventually you start honing in on certain things. Yeah. And I was so later there's a whole thing because werewolves about the full moon.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if that if the lunar calendar actually lined up on this.
Yeah.
It does not. Romania did not adopt the Gregorian calendar until 1919 as a Country, but Budapest had been using it since 1587. Even assuming that they used the Julian calendar for holy days or other observances in 1888, the Gregorian calendar was 12 days ahead of the Julian calendar. So November 2nd, which was the the day that he would like. That's the last day that he had in terms of the timeline of the movie.
Right.
Would have been November 14th, and the full moon was 4 days later. They were that close. They were that close.
Wow.
That is farther than
I was gonna say
go.
you just outdid Brendan on that. He's the research guy here, but that is
no but I do love that.
No, I was
and
gonna say,
also
that's the kind of thing that impresses you.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I will say that there is like the biggest blunder in this for me vis-a-vis like writing is Dracula says that he became a vampire in 1462, and in 1888 they are saying that was 450 years ago, and it's like, come on, guys, like really?
Yeah.
I know
that was easy. That was an easy one. That was a layup.
You're absolutely right, and also on that similar nitpickiness, sorry you opened that can, but I'll sit there going like,
but that is as deep as I will go. That is as nitty as I will picky.
Very deep. But I'll sit there going like, well then if you want to do the whole I am Vladislaus Dracula, fine, that's great.
Oh, I love the way Roxburgh says Dracula.
Yeah, why don't you use his actual birth date and death as because they're close.
Sure.
So you're like going, they like do something like born 1421, died 1462 or whatever it was that they say. And I'm like going, he died in 1476. You could have just used the actual dates.
Sure.
And I'm 1431 to 1476. What's the problem? Use those because that's legit.
Look, nothing will ever be. I just want him to stab a cross and have it bleed. So I'm still back over there with Gary Oldman. But
you also do things like, I thought you were about to say the thing about full moons. You only get possibly 3 nights of a month. Oh well, I mean,
but Universal movies have been violating that shit for as long as we've been watching.
And literally, they do the Scooby-Doo take, which is clouds pass over the moon, you turn back, and
but I like it for the
that
scene.
would literally be a what's going on?
It's got to be. It seems like it's.
That's
it seems
the
like
stupidest thing I've seen in.
I like it for the scene though. You need him to turn back into Hugh Jackman for that scene. And I don't know. It's
passing over the moon caused you to change back.
Well,
and
it's got to be. It's got to be total cloud
forth.
cover, though, man. I don't think it was just a little bit. It was a total covering of the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It worked for me. It's a good scene.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I do also like when he sees the Gatling gun. He's like, "Hey, when can I get one of those?" And then just Carl being like, "Oh, I've got something infinitely cooler than that." And also, something he does say is he goes, also, something that would kill vampires, not bullets, and it's this, which is one of the coolest monster hunting weapons in any movie, which is basically like a Tommy gun crossbow. It is awesome.
Just shoot stakes.
It just shoots stakes. And later we'll get to stake shrapnel, which is also one of my favorite things in this movie.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was pretty cool.
That was very cool. So he's got, and I just, once again, he's loaded. He's like, you're going to need some of this. Here's some holy water. Here's some silver stakes. Here we go. But of course, what's this? I have to go with him. I'm not a field man, as he keeps saying throughout.
Field man? And Helsing.
Yeah. So Carl is going to be joining him for wacky hijinks.
Good decision, man. He really, well, I do like that this is, as crazy as this movie is, most of the comedy really is with Carl. It's a little bit, everyone, not the whole cast is as lighthearted as the Mummy movies, which I appreciate here. You mainly have Carl be the comedic relief, whereas everybody's pretty jovial, including our main hero in the Mummy, which totally works for those movies. But I do think there is a little bit different vibe here because Hugh Jackman, who can be very funny, is stoic Hugh Jackman. But different than Wolverine. I know some people go like, he's just Wolverine in this. It's like, there's some similarities. I don't think when also in the trivia they talk about when he's in werewolf form and he pulls his claws out, they go, much like Wolverine. I'm like, well, that's also a werewolf thing. I don't really. Yeah. I didn't immediately go like, oh, they're just doing Wolverine. But anyway, let's go to Transylvania.
Also, by the way, in this movie, werewolves are 14 feet tall.
Yeah, man, and they're bitching. These are cool looking werewolves, man. I like these werewolves. And also, Summers was very proud of the transformation. He really wanted.
I love the snout. I love a werewolf with a snout.
Yep.
What was with these ears, man? I really don't like this design. I don't like the design of any of these characters. I don't
None of
like
them?
Dracula's hair.
None.
Oh,
And
Dracula
no,
looks-
not a single one.
This
of
is
them.
a cool ass Dracula, man.
Yeah.
This is a
This is
Dracula
a
where they're like
sexy
going.
That Dracula had me thinking some thoughts that, you know, you have at 11 years old and you think, whoa, what?
Yeah.
I'm glad he's working for you. He didn't work for me. I hate his bat creature design, where it becomes big CG blob fighting another.
I'm glad
CG
you mentioned
blob.
that though, because I loved one of the things I love in the black and white prologue when the lightning strikes and you just see the second of the demon.
That was all right. I like that.
That was awesome.
I don't think the werewolves are good design, and I hate the Frankenstein monster design.
Wow.
Yeah.
I vehemently disagree about I really like this Frankenstein a lot. I love this little glowing
Can't agree
heart.
about the werewolf. Love a werewolf with abs.
Yeah.
Best decision anyone's ever made.
I was going to say though, let's go to Transylvania and meet the Valerius? Is that how you?
Yeah, Valerius.
The hottest siblings the screen has seen, and
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
man!
they are both stunning.
Man, Falcon deserved more screen time.
I do think he is the most underserved character here. The Wolfman, you know, because that was the whole thing. I remember the posters for this came out right there. They did the Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman posters, and you're like, yeah, the Wolfman. We don't really get a Wolfman. We just sort of get werewolfery around, right? So you don't really get
werewolfery.
Vulcan really isn't really the Wolfman in this movie. So that I do sort of feel like is just based on the nature.
It's definitely a vehicle to make Hugh Jackman the werewolf.
Yeah.
Like,
which I like. And did you guys notice the little cross in his fur that's in there? That's in the trivia. There's a little patch of lighter fur over his heart that makes a cross. Because he is the left arm of God. Even in werewolf form, he is still a holy warrior. Yeah.
God, why Hollywood? You fucked up. Fucked up.
My oft refrain. You need 5 of the. I need 5 of these movies, man. Why aren't there more of these movies? And where was my TV show? Where was my Transylvania show?
My TV show.
I would love to. I think it would have been cool to see him go to like South America and fight the creature, like a totally different aesthetic. Plus, he could have had some kind of harpoon gun in that too.
And plus, someone else could have written it.
Never. Now, I will say, very close in the trivia here. Stephen Sommers almost didn't direct this. It came very close to one Michael Bay directing this movie. Now, you want to talk about...
See, Brendan, you
want to talk about maximalism.
I don't
be grateful for what you have.
I don't mind the direction. It really is a dumb script. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You can still do something this cartoony and fun with the monsters. You still have to be smart. You still have to be a good writer, and he's not. His direction I have no problem with. It is bad dialogue, bad plot construction, bad motivations for characters, and also just a underthought universe where he's like going, yeah, okay, and it ends up being about vampire babies.
What? Hey man, whoa,
and that's
I love that. They're born dead, and he has to bring them to life with the Frankenstein. That's awesome. I love that. That's oh man, that was such a cool idea. Anyway, let's meet these siblings as they fight a werewolf, and one of them gets turned into a werewolf. Kate Beckinsale doing once again. I don't know what the accent is, but it's very monster movie-y, and I like it. She's in for this. I think she gets the assignment on this one. I like her more here than I did in Underworld, where I found her very stoic and unapproachable.
Well, that was the whole point of that, is that it would be this, you know, it is a very grim, dark world, as you were saying before, grim, dark. So she is just broody.
Yeah.
And always lit in blue light.
Here,
and
she's infinitely more fun in this. And she's got a sick sword. That sword is awesome. I mean, you know, what? It's a cool sword.
No, it is. It's just sort of like all that's required to make a kick-ass movie is make sure the costumes are cool and they got cool weapons. then it's a good movie.
That goes a long. It goes a long way. I don't know if it's everything, but it goes a long way for me. Yeah, she shows up.
The reason I think Citizen Kane is still loved so much is because he's got that saber. He's got it strapped to his back, and he's pulling out the saber.
I'm not
Cool.
saying that movie had to have that, but would that movie have been slightly better if he had a six sword? You bet.
Anyway,
what did you say about that published in my paper?
Did we lose Elliott? Elliott's doing a thing where they're confused about. Can you hear us, Elliott? Sorry, this looks like it might be a tech problem.
I'm guessing no. Hold on, let me. So anyway, no, I don't have to have a cool sword, but one helps, and I like her whole aesthetic in this movie.
Yeah, I do too. I remember also that June, Diane Raphael, over on How Did This Get Made, she was very upset about her bustier. She was like, "What's going on up here?"
You know who else was upset about it? Kate Beckinsale. Most of her interviews about this was like, "I fucking hated wearing that shit."
Oh, I'm sure that looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In fact, they said after her when she wrapped on the shoot, she just goes, "Can someone just burn this thing, please?"
Oh wow, yeah. She is strapped in, and sorry, my job is murder on my
That's right.
voice.
Yeah,
but I will say the aesthetic again looks great, and yes, there's that scene where they're both walking towards either Castle Frankenstein or Castle Dracula, not sure.
Yeah.
And you just see that big sword like bouncing against her hip, and I'm like,
I mean,
that's very swashbuckling.
The introductory
cool.
shot of her with that and it gleaming, very cool. I mean, once again, you know what it is? It's very Captain Kronos.
It is very Captain Kronos, and actually,
this whole movie is very Captain Kronos. This is like Captain Kronos on steroids.
Immortal monster hunter guy.
Elliott, have you seen Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter?
No.
Oh,
it could use some of the.
If you like this movie and are willing to, go in with the knowledge that it's a lower budgeted film from the 70s, though, but I would say stylistically, tonally, very similar to this movie.
Okay.
He's got a sword.
That movie could use a Hugh Jackman because I love the concept. We both love Captain Kronos, but the
guy was cast more for his look than for his acting ability. He looks great. He's not the world's greatest actor, but once again, and I'm going to talk about weapons, he does have a sword whose blade is made of smelted crosses, though, so it's holy.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he could have been a franchise. If that movie had done better.
He was supposed to be, and the idea was every movie would take place in a different time period because he's immortal.
I love it.
Yeah, he's the
so
only man alive feared by the living dead, which is still one of the coolest taglines. All right, back to this. So the brother gets taken by a werewolf. Oh, no. Because the whole thing with this family, by the way, is... and this is why they're sending Van Helsing there, is they are the only way they can get into heaven, right, is if they destroy Dracula. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
For generations of these people have been trying to kill Count Dracula.
Right. So that's the thing of like why the Vatican is part of why the Vatican is finally taking notice is, and also like it's not implied. It's more than implied. Like they say, like, yeah, the Valerius family has been like on the front, like that's our Eastern Front essentially.
Yeah,
of like all the monsters and shit.
Van Helsing's just one guy. He can't go everywhere. We've got other
people.
They basically say that for some reason Transylvania specifically instead of the Balkans, but specifically Transylvania, like going. It is a dark land where evil reigns, and they do say that this family has been there.
I like that idea because that's always in those Universal movies where they go to these places and go like, "Oh, don't go there, man." And I love the idea of going there and like all the people there are like, "Dude, we're just exhausted from all the it's constant monster shit." Like actually seeing the townsfolk who are like under the thumb of Dracula is a really cool idea in this movie to me.
There's a strange. I also literally think this movie could be edited down. It's way too expansive. But I kept wondering why we spend so much time focusing on brides swooping around and like the one guy who's like the gravedigger guy. You're like, why are you important to this at all? Just so you set up
that
thing where you die later on.
Love his death though. It's great.
It is a great death. But you're like going,
and that guy coming
he's like
back.
riff-raff. He's basically just like
he's very riff-raffy.
He is very riff-raff.
And they really focus. What I like is when he comes back later, he was at the front of that mob. They really focused on.
He's the guy that the Universal logo turns into his torch.
Yeah. And by the way, that guy's coming back to us from Mummy Returns. He's also in.
Oh, is he?
He's one of the the scoundrelly bandit guys that are running around in that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, was he the scaredy cat one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spivey was his character's name in that. Yeah, that's him. Tall, lanky, gaunt kind of British guy. And a guy who gets a ton of work. Lots of BBC shows, stuff like that. Tom Fisher is that actor. He's got a really distinctive look. He's a good character actor.
I mean, he looks cool here.
He looks cool.
But again, I keep thinking, like, are they going to imply he has been working with the vampires or something? No, he's just this really creepy.
Well, and he's here because he's really become sort of the voice. He is kind of the mob as one character because he's the one that when Van Helsing and Carl show up are just like, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Yeah, and basically the whole thing is the vampires essentially leave us alone. They just they're like, kill 2 people a month, the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You had to come in and kill one of them, so now they're gonna come after us for revenge. That's actually it's grim, but I don't mind that as a story point.
I like that idea too.
Funny, they're like, we're just used to them picking a couple of us off,
and also the whole idea of
like, listen, we're running around and screaming because it's scary as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
these ladies are mean.
Yeah.
Some real mean ladies.
Mean. They're not just vampires. They're constantly taunting people and again constantly picking people up and dropping them and picking people up and dropping them.
They're mean.
But it's like we've come to deal with it. Also, that gets back to the nobody's killed one in 100 years. So it's like we can't really do anything about it. So we kind of just let it happen. And then, we just hope it's not you. That's kind of the attitude. Right? It's just like you just hope it's not you or anyone you care about. And you go.
I like that. It's like in the fairy tale ish stories where they're like going, "We have a deal with the dragon.
Yeah.
We put a virgin out once every couple of
so this is
months.
what it's come to, right? It's sort of just like
we have a lottery, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, it was your daughter this time, but this is how it is to live in this town. Same idea. I like it. That's fine.
It's very, very cool. I like that. And also then the idea that they're like, we don't need somebody coming up here stirring trouble because now
we don't need nobody coming up here stirring trouble.
I did think it was weird when Tina Turner showed up and said, we don't need another hero, but that that has nothing to do with anything.
Anti-entity.
But here come the brides, man. Here come the brides.
Here come the brides.
Because they are
swooping out of the sky.
Full on harpy-like bat creatures. I'm on board.
Which I think those actresses and models had to wear these skin-tight, latex suits.
I was looking at the trivia.
The wings,
about that.
I think, are probably CG, obviously. But
it's mainly the head into shoulders. They said. So it's sort of like it's like a headpiece that came down.
So
and
even the body was
mostly CG, but the faces are all practical makeup. And then accented from there. But they talked about it was mainly about they wanted to keep the human faces, and then they could CGI in the bodies.
They're milky white. I mean,
they're creepy.
This design, they're creepy, and I guess it was sort of the idea of yes, Dracula is going to be dark, black, and that kind of thing. And this is. They keep the idea of the 3 brides, and they keep kind of the idea of, oh, there's a brunette, a redhead, and a blonde. You're like, oh, right, that's the classic. And maybe it's like their gowns. So in a weird way, their sort of flimsy gowns become their wings. And it's an interesting take. It's fine. But they literally know everybody in town. They know Anna. I mean, they're like, and they mock her. It's like, yeah. And I get what they're mocking. They're like going, nice job, vampire hunter. Haven't killed us yet.
She's not exclusively. In her defense, she's not exclusively a vampire hunter. She is a monster hunter.
We did skip over the thing that in that opening scene is that her brother, when they took down a werewolf, her brother got bit.
Yeah. Velkin is now.
He's now.
Well, he's missing, presumed dead. We kind of are not going to find out what's going on.
The werewolf tackled him off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, so they come in being all haughty and get in their way, and everyone's like, "Run!"
Hotties.
Yeah,
they are hotties. There's no question.
They are all three of those.
Yeah.
And and basically Anna is like the tough gal in town, and she's like, "Take your children, hide!" And they're running away. She's doing her best, which isn't great.
I do think she's trying to protect the town. She seems to have accepted that you can't defeat these things, but I think she just tries to mitigate damage. But Van Helsing's
Hugh Jackman comes in swinging and firing.
I believe I
not
have
too effectively.
Yeah, because he's punching through the wings, but it's not until he dips that crossbow in the holy water.
Well, I mean that's where Carl goes, "Holy water!"
And then we go to the slow motion of just the drop. Oh, and then it's about I got to race past this vampire lady to get the crossbow and get the thing. It's awesome. This whole sequence is very cool. This is one of my favorite action beats in the movie. Van Helsing versus the Brides. Also, my favorite cool action line comes from Kate Beckinsale in this scene when she tells one of the brides, "I hope you have a heart because someday I'm going to drive a stake through it." That's a cool line. That is the mildest of like, I guess.
Boils down to I like one shot sequence in this movie.
In the whole movie?
In the whole movie. I think that he competently does it, but just overwhelms it. But we're not to that shot yet.
Okay.
So anyway, he does manage to kill one of these vampire brides, and the other two are none too pleased about that. Lord,
I think it's Mariska, the one that he kills.
Yes. Yeah. She's the first one to go.
Oh, wow. You know the name.
It's the blonde that goes.
Yeah.
Josie Moran is the who's an actor.
Yeah, there you go.
A model. Who could forget her performance as Cigarette Girl the same year in Martin Scorsese's The Aviator?
I can't forget it.
No, she has like 5 acting credits. You know, I mean, you know, I do think.
But she has millions of probably been on Sports Illustrated.
Oh, sure, yeah. But it is interesting. I do think the size of their parts does correspond to their acting ability, right? Like,
it's like get rid of her.
She's
first.
not really. She's really a model. The girl that ends up marrying Roxburgh in real life, she's a model with some acting ability, and then you have Elena Anya, who's a really, really good actress,
actual actor,
and gets the vast and is sort of the leader of the. But I do like that they make her a redhead, even though she's a brunette in real life, because it's like, well, we already have a dark-haired one and a blonde. So
sorry,
you
have to be
not that
this
I mean, not that she looks great, of course, but but it is interesting that they're just like, we really are committed to each of you having your own look.
Yeah, sorry, you get to be the redhead. I'm the redhead?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, sure, yeah. Because she's also the fiery one.
Yeah.
But and everybody's like, well, maybe we do like this Van Helsing guy. He's the first person to kill a vampire in 100 years. He's actually
That's earned him a drink.
Yeah, that's pretty. And immediately she is like, I mean, there's not like really a romance here, but there's definitely like, ooh, this guy, he's pretty awesome, and he's Hugh Jackman.
Apparently, he's an attractive man.
That's what they say.
Although she is still pretty cold to him, like because she's like, okay, great, you killed a vampire. You've killed a vampire, awesome, great, but I don't need help.
Yep.
I mean, it's very like strong female character.
You know what it is? I'm gonna say it.
Mid-aughts.
It's woke. It's totally woke. I turned this movie off because I was like, I'm going back to sleep.
This
ain't
guy's
that woke.
Not this guy. He's back on the show. I hate that guy.
No boobs. This movie's boobless. I turned it off.
Vampire Bride's titties are out.
But they ain't no nipples on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I don't like the vampire ladies because they ain't got no nipples. It's just weird. Made me feel weird. I think actually Brendan's comedic character actually does jive with your point, Elliot, where it is approaching something. We're in that era where it's like, we know we need better female representation in like genre films, but we're pretty on the nose about it. And I don't think this is too bad, but there's much worse. But no, it definitely like relies on the stock, like, well, that's great that you're a badass, but you know. Well,
no, I'd say from the early 90s on, even in the Bond films, it was like, we have to veer away from that. He's just they're just there to be seduced or whatever.
The running
so it's
thing
like, I don't need saving. Like, okay,
that's it.
gotcha.
And the running thing that Bond fans always talk about is every actress who plays a Bond girl in their interview goes, well, she's different than any other Bond girl you've seen before. And it's like,
the reason I like this part is she's not the typical Bond girl.
Like,
and you're like,
that has been true a couple times, but a lot of the time it's like,
I play a nuclear physicist named Christmas Jones.
Denise Richards was such a different kind of Bond girl. In that she said some sciencey stuff here and there, but no, I do
she
think
wore glasses,
and I don't think they beat you over the head with it. But there is definitely like, oh great, yeah, you're cool, Van Helsing, but like I still have my thing, and I care about my brother, so I'm gonna do whatever you do what you want, but don't get in my way. All right, I don't need your help.
Yeah, but to Brendan's point, and we can pause and kind of take that in as if you need to, Brendan. To Brendan's point, her like that frames her like incompetence, that like it's so diametrically opposed though, like in terms of how it's like how the movie presents her though, which is so like it's like, oh, okay, that kind of makes me like, but overall I still enjoy everything. But it's like, yeah, I don't need you to come in and save me. Like, I can take care of myself, and I'll save my brother, and I'll kill Dracula, and it's going to be great. And then it's like, she is so easily defeated, like at every point in the movie. And so it really kind of like
you wish that it had gone that way and they became true partners. Yes. I will say, similar to, and it's a movie that John and I both love, Mask of Zorro. The whole thing is that, yes, of course, you have Zorro, but Catherine Zeta-Jones's character is full on his partner and is equal in sword fighting. And you're like, great. That's what we need, more of that.
I was going to say, she's a very good example of an extremely well done female lead in one of these genre action movies, because
and doesn't steal the focus. They share the focus. You're like, thank God you've got Zorro, and Antonio Banderas is amazing, and you're like, yeah, I'm all for it.
Nothing wrong with that guy either. But
apparently he's also a handsome man.
But like I said, I just like that Kate Beckinsale is allowed to be a little bit more fun in this than I really just find her. One of my biggest problems with the Underworld franchise is, and I like Kate Beckinsale, the problem is that character, they never do a particularly good job of like why I should really like that character, rather than she's just cool. Here, I think she's got
Anna is definitely like way more compelling. Like it's nice. It is nice to see Kate Beckinsale like able to like able in a movie with a character to like show some emotion.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if it is
she's
just
very
like,
charming. Whenever I see her interviewed and stuff, it's like,
my brother and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, yeah, she's just a little bit more charming in this, which I like. Can we talk about very pissed off Dracula walking around on the ceiling? Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
See, here's again.
Oh, he's so mad. Him coming up out of his coffin too with that great.
Yeah.
I just love Richard Roxburgh.
We haven't talked about him, and
I love this actor. I do love him in everything I've seen him in
a Mission Impossible movie. So
yes, but I don't like his Dracula.
Camp.
And I don't mind
and
Dracula.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind him being big either. It's just that a lot of things.
I want him to be big. I want bigger than life Dracula.
And it's okay. But
I want supervillain Dracula.
Yes, I know. But again, it's a thing with. I was going to talk about all the like in the very beginning, you have him doing the quick vampire zooming, where Dr. Frankenstein's looking around, and suddenly he's behind him. Then he's in front of him.
Yeah.
You're like, great. With all of these little tricks, I love them. I love him walking on a ceiling. But what I want is pick your battles, man. Pick your moments, because then it's just the go-to. And every scene is Stephen Sommers going, did you like that? Here's 8 more of this.
Well, what I love about this one is it's
the first time we see him do this, and it's very cool.
Well, it's also it's the casualness if he's just walking and then he just keeps going up the wall. Like, this is just how I move about. The gravity is not going to be a problem for me.
Yeah, I like that. But again, it's just it is everything that works in this movie. Stephen Sommers goes, I will reuse this for 28 more times in the movie, and you go, stop. Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark uses the whip like twice. Importantly in the film, a couple of moments with the whip, and you will never forget those moments. They're awesome. He uses a gun, he jumps, he does a thing, but he doesn't do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not just like whip, 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 whip,
I don't know that this movie does as much of that as you're accusing it of being. Like, he doesn't really bust out the crossbow a ton later in the movie, a little bit, but he uses the guns. Later, he has a shotgun when he's shooting the.
It's not about the weapons, John. It's about the gimmick. In other words, the gimmick of the walking on the walls, or the gimmick of a swashbuckly swinging scene. Again, in Star Wars, there is a swashbuckly swinging scene.
Of course.
And we all remember it. This movie gives us 35 swashbuckly swinging scenes. You get one.
No, thereby fixing the mistake George Lucas made by having 44.
Yeah, by not having enough swashbuckly moments.
Also,
or like, okay, like I'm trying, Brendan. I'm trying so hard over here. I'm trying so hard to see why. What, like, I try fighting for my fucking life over here. I just don't agree. I don't think that it's overused. I just don't. Like, he walks up a wall onto a ceiling once.
It's cool as fuck, man. When does he do it again?
There's a later scene where he's talking to the brides, and again the whole thing is like, now we're upside down, and at one point when Van Helsing is fighting him, he's up on the wall sticking out this way. He's constantly doing that, and you're like, we get it.
But the fight is a different context for being on the wall.
And also, when do werewolves climb walls?
Well, when could they?
I think every creature in this movie has been bitten by a radioactive spider, because that whole thing of the brother, when he goes and talks to her, and he's like, "Oh no, you have to run away from me. I'm changing," and then literally climbs up a wall to change. And I'm like, what? It is just Stephen Sommers going like, I have these toys. I'm going to keep using them, whether it makes sense or not.
We'll get to that, but I do want to talk about the Sommers' big take on the werewolf transformation.
Which is an interesting one, because it's kind of going back to some old folklore of the peeling the skin off and the creatures underneath. I don't mind that either. I've seen movies that do that too. Again, I'm sorry, Elliot. I just sit there wanting to be caught up in the story and constantly just seeing a director going, I'm going to use the same beats. And for way too long, this is a 2-hour movie, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, it's got 3 creatures in it who I love, and an awesome swashbuckly hero, but it is just repetitiveness. I by the 18th time, someone was snatched up by a flying bat lady and dropped and then caught, or someone falling off a cliff. We get werewolves falling off cliffs. We get the Frankenstein creature falling off cliffs. I'm just like, guy, stop it. You pick your moments with any of these, and you get one, because that is effective. When you do it 4 or 5 times, it's exhausting. And I was bored. You shouldn't be bored. This movie never stops moving. But I was sitting there going like, it was CG fatigue, action beat fatigue by the end of it. Even if the plot had remained the same, I would have shortened a lot of these action sequences down, because they just go on too long and nothing new is in it except for him going different angle on same thing. Literally, Kate Beckinsale is tossed around in this movie more than that poor lady in Jurassic World?
It's Jurassic World.
Yeah, with the poor lady who gets tossed around from dinosaur to dinosaur. Yeah. And that's actually, it's brutal, but that also only happens once in that movie. And this thing, Kate Beckinsale, is literally, she falls, she's grabbed. She falls, she's grabbed. A rope, and she's grabbed. She's pulled up, tossed. Another one catches her, dropped, caught, da-da-da. And it just, every one of the action sequences is the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Sorry.
So, and again, I still don't agree, but
I mean, once again, as always, mileage varies. It's not working for Brendan. Right? It's obviously working for us. That's okay.
I would have a problem more if. So the reason it makes sense to me and is not like fatigues me in the same way is that like I would have a bigger problem if in this world that has established that's like vampires and flying creatures, like if the verticality of what this world has to offer was on display less, I would have more of a problem. Like, why wouldn't a vampire lady just be like tossing people around and like catching people? Like, the ways that the people do it, like it's an almost symmetry to that. Like I don't have a problem with it because it makes, like, that's the thing, is like it makes sense to me that like people are getting tossed around and a lot because like you have flying creatures and flying creatures do that. Like,
what I'll say is you're absolutely right. It does make sense in that world. It makes sense if that is in their wheelhouse, or this is one of the things we can do, because at this point they are aviation creature, whatever. It's more about the filmmaking aspect. In other words, in that world, you're absolutely right. They would be doing that. They would use that all the time. In the case of any movie, and I think even something that's supposed to be a fun summer movie, action film, my point being is that when I keep saying you pick your moment, it's because for something to have an impact, you should see it once. There could be an implication that they do that all the time, sure. But if you are watching them do it all the time, it is, even in Westerns, like if you go back to the 50s Westerns, the ones that work don't have constant gun battles. They have scenes in between. They have some drama stuff. I think the ones that don't work are endless horseback chases and bang, bang, bang. And it's just like, God, it's the same thing over and over and over again. You need to move your story by giving us fresh beats all the way through, instead of return to here's more of the same. And this movie is all about every action sequence is going to have the dramatic pull up the gun moment. It's going to have someone you thought was fine gets yanked. And it's just like, dude, come up with new gimmicks or shorten these scenes because they'll have more impact that way. It is a thing where I want to get involved, but I just realize it's the same beats over and over and over again. Nothing is advanced by having the 18th scene of the bride swooping out, is where Dracula's going like, go kill those two. And then later with the werewolf, go hunt them down, kill those two. And it becomes another scene of that. It may be during sunset, or it may be at midnight, but it'll be the exact same beats. And it's like, this one's in a coach, this one's them in the castle, this one's on a cliff, and it's still just the same thing. It is swinging and being pulled up. It is more, even an Errol Flynn film, even like Captain Blood or something like that, and I love those. But those swashbuckly moments, speaking of swashbuckly, it's not just an endless repetition of swinging from one ship to another and another sword fight. There's nothing in between these. So this is a machine that keeps going, but it's a machine that's giving you the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's trying to pump up the adrenaline, but there's nowhere for it to go because they build up to nothing. We've seen explosions early in the movie. We see an explosion towards the end. We see bat children pop in a scene where they swoop down on the village. We see that, and that's like, whoa, that's cool. Guess what? Later in the movie, more popping bat kids. It's just sort of like it.
Well, but we're trying. I mean, I think you're overstating how little connection there is between these action moments and the story of the movie. Because I mean, the popping of the bat children is, we're tracking how well Dracula's experiment is going, right? Because the whole thing here is he's using the werewolf to. He's basically zapping the life energy out of the werewolf to give life to his undead children.
I know,
but that's not enough.
With a great somehow Palpatine came back line where he basically says like, the human wasn't enough, but this one with the werewolf curse, maybe this will do it.
No, because the whole thing is then it doesn't it works for a little bit, but but I'm talking about like we're acting like it's just like they just do this and then nothing happens, or it's the same. I guess the thing is it doesn't feel repetitive to me. Like he's using similar action beats, but they all have a different. I want to talk about this scene of Van Helsing hunting the werewolf, because maybe my favorite shot of Van Helsing is him coming out of the mist with his pistol here. When he's in full on like Victorian detective stalking mode, and this is also the who's hunting who, which I like that from Van Helsing, not in a I wonder who's hunting who, but he's more just like, wait a minute, I think I'm being stalked here. I like that moment for Van Helsing. Also, one note on the swashbuckling thing that I do want to I hope we can all agree with this. Love Alan Silvestri's swashbuckling score for this movie.
Okay.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
The score is so.
It's very of its period. It's very Alan Silvestri.
It's very Alan Silvestri. Because the Jerry Goldsmith Mummy score, I just think is fucking incredible.
The stuff at the beginning where he's trying to echo kind of classic Universal sweepy kind of stuff worked for me, because again, the black and white photography, the iconography, and Alan Silvestri like leaning into sort of the vintage stuff. Yeah. Liked it. Then it becomes very action score through the whole thing.
But he has these big, sweeping, heroic, very Errol Flynn swashbuckling adventure movie. I mean, that's one of the things I really like about this movie is how much of an adventure film it is. I mean, that was also what I liked about The Mummy. I think Summers is really, he really is more interested in making action adventure films than horror that scares. I mean, he'll have moments, of course, and he likes creepy, I think, as opposed to scary.
Yeah, again, popping back kids.
Well, and gross too at times, yeah. And also,
yeah.
I almost don't know where to go here, because let's talk about the vampire babies, which is the main thing here, is that the idea that the vampires can have offspring, but they are born dead, because to living, they're undead creatures who are producing offspring that basically are in these like sacks. I mean, they're almost insect-like.
Again, plot-wise, you're sitting there going like, yes, the idea is, and even Van Helsing, who we are learning, because he doesn't have a memory of his past, and Dracula is surprised by that when they meet up, and he's like going, oh, you don't remember? We've actually gone up against you. Wow.
Yeah, we're exes. Like, we're exes. Babe.
Hey, bae. Hey, bae.
I do love that moment when they finally confront each other, and he's like, you don't remember.
Like, yeah, you don't remember me. That's weird. And I'm hurt.
What the fuck, man?
Did you lose those mixtapes I made for
you? I would love the return of my ring.
Yeah. That actually is.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I do see you're currently wearing it. So
famously,
in my face a little.
Here's a personal Brendan story, but it ties in. My high school girlfriend, I gave my class ring to, and then we went to the soda shop. No, I gave her my class ring back in high school.
1982, I believe it was.
And we have remained, at least acquaintances for a long time and friends, but it really, a Facebook message a year kind of thing. Yeah. And I ran into her a few years here in Portland. She came to town for some sort of book thing. And I got to hang out with her. It was good to see her. And I was like, hey, Becky, do you still have my class ring? Because it'd be really cool to get it back. It's like nostalgic and, a high school thing. And she goes, oh, I still have it. I was like, yeah. Do you think maybe you could, mail it back? She goes, no, you gave it to me. I mean, literally.
And that's like why this moment in the movie,
I know
Brendan,
we're not together anymore, but you gave that to me. And
just a single tear from Brendan in this moment. Then when Dracula,
I know, it's just like, damn.
I feel you, Dracula.
My ring.
My ring.
But so yes, the whole thing is that Van Helsing doesn't know much about the vampire world, and he's like, oh, this is what happens when vampires mate.
And
we see these egg sacs.
Yeah, I want to. Ebert had a thing in his review where he describes what these things look like, and I'll find here in a second. But anyway, yeah, they're in these.
So basically, the whole idea is that Dracula, who seems to be the first vampire in this universe, he's got a brood of hundreds of these baby sacs, and the babies are born dead, and they're hanging from the ceiling, and he's trying to find some way to bring them to life. And later on, we discover those hundreds are only from one of the brides, and so he's got thousands of these vampire baby sacs, and you're like going, oh, okay, so what was the
I fucks?
Well, that man gets it.
But I mean, you talk about a Dracula. Ridge Roxborough Dracula is getting it on left and right.
At one point,
I think some of these Draculas talk a big game. This guy, though.
Well, at one point, he totally just grabs his two ladies and is like, yeah, go take care of him, Wolfman. And he gets his brides, and they're making out with him, and he's like, just pulling back, like, I love that as
he's floating back with them on each arm, like, I don't come a knocking for a while. If you know what I mean. And then if this castle's a rockin', that's all I'm saying.
They turn into bas relief sculpture. It's weird, but anyway, so basically, this is Stephen Sommers' weird take, and then all these babies. So you're like, so Dracula has spent 400 years trying to figure out a way to bring these babies to life.
Well, I mean, maybe I don't. I don't know if he's been at that the entirety of the 400 years, but it's certainly been his plan for a while now.
Yeah,
you would also imagine.
At least since becoming financial backer for Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I would assume it was on the list. Had these baby sacs since he was boning, and I don't think he waited till the 1800s to.
Yeah, but it was sort of like, I think it was probably a thing where it's like, I'm up to other stuff. I'd really like to find a way to get that going, and then
it's like whatever that is.
Then it's like, oh, Frankenstein. I think I can see this could. Hey, this could be big for both of us.
Another big story hole is that they go because they use is it Anna is her name?
Anna, yeah.
They use Anna's father, who's father to Wolfman and Kate Beckinsale, to try to.
I like that he's Velkin and she's Anna. You know.
Yeah. Tries to bring the babies to life, and is like, the human didn't work. Put the werewolf guy in. We'll see if that works. But I
love a Dracula who's just throwing stuff at the prom, man. Human, no. Werewolf? Now there's an idea.
But the thing with this is, they say this is his second experiment.
Yes.
And they say, well, will they live? How long will they live this time? And yet, when the vampire babies are free and swoop down on the city to feed for the first time for the village, they're acting like they've never seen them before, and yet Dracula has already at least had them come to life briefly, and they must have popped at that point.
Yeah, but I don't know that they attacked the village, though.
That they made it to the village.
Okay, so yes, that is true. Maybe they were like, oh, we're alive, and then immediately popped or something.
I think the idea is it just keeps like, with the human, they got him a little ways, and then here it's like, ooh, they seem stronger. Let's take them down to the village. No, it doesn't work. We really do just need this crazy monster. One of my favorite lines in the movie, too, is where they talk about, is this a guy? Is this a man? It's like, actually, he's like 12 people, technically. I love that line, too. It's like, well, technically, he's just a man. You don't want to know the answers to these questions.
And plus, Cardinal Sin. You guys know where I'm going to go with this. Carl, who I really like. And maybe this is a Cardinal Sin.
Oh, no. That's it, everybody. This was Brendan's last show. Everybody say goodbye to him on that one.
Yeah, glad I made that alternate version of the thumbnail with me in it.
That's the running joke on
I
this show.
did not actually do that.
No, but the running joke on this show always is that anything happens to Brendan, it just slots in. Elliott slots in, and nothing. There's no even gap. It just keeps going.
Hopefully you'll be okay taking Jones as your last name.
Yeah, we can't change any of that though. No,
no, you can't. That's locked in. But he goes, okay, but what about Frankenstein?
Oh, it's because he's the monster. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Frankenstein?
Oh.
I was like, oh, dudes, come on.
The rest of the time they call it the creature.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, which is why that one really sticks out.
Sure.
And you're like, dude. Plus, Frankenstein, the doctor in this world, literally no one knew about except for Dracula and then people who burned him. So it's not even like Carl's like going, ah, yes, the famous. No, the dude who was there for 15 minutes and was instantly killed by a mob. So why does he even know the infamous Frankenstein? That creature is not known by anybody until they find him underneath the castle.
Here's
the windmill.
So
windmill.
When we get to the windmill, man, which is of course, I mean that's the,
there are all kinds of little winks. There's all kinds.
Well, because
I
like the two things with the windmill. Number one, they're doing the climax of the James Whale Frankenstein at the beginning, and then their discovery of him is very much the way they find him at the beginning of Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes,
in the water underneath the thing, which is very cool.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out something here because I do want to. I mean, we can't be here all day, so I'm just going to zip through some of the plot here. But the note that no one knows how to kill Dracula, the way to kill other vampires does not work on Dracula. Also, my favorite Richard Roxburgh moment in this movie is when he grabs the cross and it catches fire and he does like and he throws it aside and he's just like, all right.
That's good.
That's because that's very much, that reminds me a lot of the Bela Lugosi mirror moment in the 31 movie where he sees the mirror and flips out and then he's just like, anyway, like it's just like, now I return to now we can talk.
Roxburgh is a really good actor, and in that scene, he does that great combination of pain, anger, and then I'm pulling back in because I am in control of this, I do like that.
Like the glimpse of the crazy.
He's screaming and doing it, and then it's just the quick. Once the cross is done, it's like, now we can talk like gentlemen again.
We did jump over my favorite bit.
Oh, did we?
And your favorite bit.
Okay.
Or at least Ebert's favorite bit.
Yes.
I don't. In general, the coach scene, which is
we haven't jumped over that because isn't that with that's the Frankenstein escape.
Yeah, we haven't gotten.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
No, this is what they zip line out of Castle Dracula, which is where they find the Frankenstein monster. Then.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So
this is more swinging. Brendan's least favorite part of the movie. As they zip line out of there.
If they did that like once, maybe twice, I would have no problem.
This is a zip line. Later, it's a trapeze. It's all different stuff, man.
It's all different.
All different stuff.
Hey, man, it's not our fault. You can't tell the difference between a zip line and trapeze and a rope and a chain.
But let's get to. They do find the Frankenstein monster, and I love one of the things I really like in this too is. And especially because one of the reasons I love the Frankenstein creature so much anyway is he's not inherently evil. I do like the line where they talk about he's created of evil, but he himself, and Van Helsing going like that. The whole thing about like, I'm not going to destroy him. And then they get the official order from the Catholic Church, like, you got to destroy that thing.
I actually like that plot-wise too, really because I like Anna's like, that is an abomination. It should be killed. Carl gets the order. They're like, put it down, and Carl
even gets the chance to destroy it later.
But Van Helsing, one of the things I like about his character, it's not too overbearing, but I like that he has this. He's like a paladin or something, or a cleric. He has, to talk in D&D terms, he has like a moral thing and a code. I like that he crosses himself after every death. I like that he had that line about, I'm the one who sees them when they go back to what they were, to a form of innocence. It's like, what I like, I put him down.
He is the left arm of God. He serves God or good or whatever, not the church. He does. The church gives him orders, but he is beyond to a higher power.
He's Captain America who serves the
very
dream,
much so.
Not the government.
I fight for the dream, man. Still, that line crystallized that whole character. It's still the best.
Way to go, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, that was just like boom. That's it.
I serve the dream.
I serve the dream. And so that I do like too, because he's the only one who Anna, Carl both have these moments of should this thing be destroyed. And Van Helsing does have some line where it's like, I know evil, and that thing is not evil.
Yeah, I liked that too. It's a good take on the creature. I don't like the design. It's a good take on the creature.
And I do like the performance too.
All that stuff.
He's pitiable.
He's loquacious. He can speak.
And he's unsure.
He did start over the Father.
But even
why?
And that got him. By the way, 3 times he's played this because apparently he also did a Frankenstein Broadway show that never got off the ground, but he did do like a workshop for a Frankenstein.
I bet if you are a trained stage actor who happens to be also extremely broad and tall, he's like going, "Please give me a Frankenstein gig. Get me a Frankenstein.
Give me a Frankenstein."
Schuler Hensley is his name, the actor.
So they do basically say like, our goals are the same. And he's like, I can't be grabbed by Dracula. He's aware of what Dracula's plan is, and he's like, I'm the key, that I'm the thing that Dracula needs that he's looking for, that can bring life to those bat babies, and so I cannot be turned over to him. They're like, don't worry, stay with us, we're gonna protect you, get you out of here, and I'm not gonna kill you.
But even he is like, you should kill me.
Yeah. He's like going, that will. Yeah,
I
like
exist
literally
only
the
for
only
this.
reason that I'm still like that I'm okay with being alive is because nobody knows who I am.
Yeah,
but now that fucking werewolf boy knows,
That's
and
right.
so
They
you need
get
to
seen.
kill me.
Yeah, that's where this plan comes into effect, is because basically Dracula uses the Wolfman guy. He goes, go track them, and he's looking not for the creature, he's looking for Van Helsing.
I also like
when
this jumps us, but it's the thing about it is only a werewolf can kill Dracula, and so he keeps them subservient, which I really like that idea too. I know that's probably not a favorite of yours, Brendan, but
it's
the idea,
cheesy as
but
fuck.
the
whole
idea is
thing
like
with the painting, and it's like, my father searched for years, doesn't know where Dracula's hiding.
You got the Wolfman poem in there though, which I loved.
Yes, that has an extension that explains, and then a werewolf has to kill Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If only they had told Lon Chaney that would have solved some of those Monster Rally problems for him.
What I love is I love a medieval like woodcut painting that becomes a CG, and I love an animated game on a canvas. Anyway, so
it's pretty rad, man. When those knights turned into werewolves.
It's pretty bitchin'.
It was pretty rad.
It was rad and bitchin'. You're absolutely right.
That, by the way, I think that's the review.
I would almost say
that's
that
the
was
review
tubular?
of this movie. This movie is specifically both rad and bitchin'.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, they let's talk. So you want to get to let's get to the coach chase, because this is their thing. Is like, all right, now that we know this is what he wants, let's get the Frankenstein monster into protective custody, right? We just got to get him out of town.
We know that we're going to be tracked. So this is Stephen Sommers pulling one over on us, and it's actually pretty good.
This is good
because you got Van Helsing, and he's driving the coach and the horses, and you got vampire brides again. They're out. They're flapping those white wings, coming right at him, and he's like, "Oh God!" And he's trying to. They're after me, oh no, and they swoop down, they're attacking the coach, and we know who's in the coach. There's no doubt.
Because we've been cutting to the interior of the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the roof of the coach is on fire.
Yeah. The roof is on fire, yeah.
The roof, let the motherfucker burn. The Wolfman leaps at Van Helsing across the flaming roof.
One of my favorite shots here, when he's falling backwards and draws the pistols.
That's the scene I like.
Yeah, man.
It's a gorgeous shot, and it was in the trailer, of course.
Of course. It's the because it's a big action hero shot for Van. I mean, there's a bunch of cool shots.
It looks like almost like this is obscure, like a Richard Corbin illustration from like heavy metal.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s or so forth, because he did some werewolf stuff.
Sure.
And his werewolves, by the way, because his style was always buff, big, kind of meaty.
Yep.
So and he's the one. No, that was Bernie Wrightson who did.
People can't see us, but Ellie just did I think a Google search is necessary here.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, you have this giant werewolf coming through flames.
Yeah,
and it's slow motion as Van Helsing is like spinning backwards, pulling up his guns, and I'm like, that is a comic book panel come to life, and it looks awesome.
Absolutely.
And again, I do have a problem with, they're going towards a bridge which has been destroyed, and he's got to somehow get out of that carriage before, and they're swooping down. The carriage jumps the bridge.
Yeah.
There are 6 horses that somehow are able to leap a gorge with a carriage in tow. They make it.
Hell yeah,
but the carriage snaps off and it falls.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite parts, man.
The vampire brides, one of them's like, I don't know why the other one isn't going to help. One of them basically says, you have to go save the creature.
I think she can't get there fast enough.
I thought the other one, but I also thought the other one was going to kill Van Helsing. Like they were going to split up.
Maybe.
My read of the scene was that one of them lost control of how she couldn't get descend fast enough, or
That's right,
the wind drafts fucked her up.
I do like that they put a little. You can actually see them going I have to swoop like this to get to build up speed. I like stuff like that.
It's you have to save the creature, and the carriage is
that's
not
priority
only on
number
fire,
1.
but it's going towards the creek bed or whatever down there.
Right.
And as it goes,
it's falling a great distance.
It's falling a great distance.
We need that thing alive. Yeah.
She zooms down, breaks through, because the thing kind of does open up, but she breaks through the roof.
And there's no creature in there. There's no creature in there.
There's no creature in there. There is literally a trap.
Yeah.
And the trap is
full of
literally
silver stakes.
A grenade of silver stakes.
And she does go,
and she's like, piss.
This is a badass moment.
This is badass.
I'll
because it explodes, and then the shrapnel of all the stakes firing out, and they hit her. Oh,
yeah, and we're down another bride.
It's good, man. He is taking these brides out. And then, of course, we see that actually to the side of all of this is Anna with the creature in her carriage. And I always love that in movies when you've been cutting to stuff. But it's not the same space.
Yeah, it's a decoy. What I thought was funny is they have this great aerial perspective when they're flying overhead. Mm-hmm. And that decoy carriage is maybe...
Hey, man.
Maybe 100 yards.
Vampire bride or not, everybody can get tunnel vision,
Yeah, it's I'm only looking at that one. Ignore that one that's going in the same direction and looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yes, don't worry, everybody. Anna and the creature and Carl, they're all safe in the other.
Except for once this comes to a stop, Anna gets taken by a bride. And
she gets snatched up by a bat lady?
She does get snatched up by damn these bat ladies.
Hadn't seen that in the movie yet.
All right. What do you want him to do, man?
You wanted to throw her over her shoulder and just be like, all right, peace.
Or make that the moment she gets yanked up by a bat lady.
But also we see that even though Van Helsing shot the werewolf, he has now been scratched.
Yes.
And he's infected.
And is he actively disguising that?
No.
She sees it first. This is before she gets snatched up. But later it seems that Carl finds out later, and he's like, "Holy crap, you got bitten!" And it was almost like he was keeping the jacket closed. I was thinking,
is he quick,
a zombie guy gets bit? I don't want anyone to know.
It's pretty quick though, because I in my notes here it does have pretty quickly. It's Carl going, "We only have 48 hours before you turn." Because that's the thing here is now that gives us a ticking clock to the end of this thing, right?
Yes, it is a ticking clock. You're going to have to take me out. I want you to do it because I'm going to end up being
I do love that moment from the creature when he's just like, well, just hope whoever hunts you is as effective as you are. Ooh, that's good stuff. I like that. I like the monster hunter becoming the monster. That's all good stuff.
Sure. It also gives him superpowers.
Now with Dracula
Van Helsing smash. Van Helsing bend iron bars.
Snicked, because he's Wolverine, right? Because he also has claws.
They didn't have him sniff. I thought they would have him go,
Yeah,
I can smell them. They're nearby.
they resisted that. That may have even been in the script. They're like, we can't have you.
That's too Wolverine.
Stephen, we can't.
Yeah, Stephen,
that was actually Hugh Jackman saying like, "Hey, Stephen, we can't."
Actually, that was Marvel going, I believe we have here in the contract he's not allowed to sniff stuff in other movies.
He's not allowed to sniff.
That's in the Bond contract. No. That always gets me. That's a real thing in the Bond contract.
You can't wear a tuxedo.
You can't wear it while the time your contract is James Bond, you're not allowed to wear a tuxedo in other productions.
That is so hilarious.
Yeah, no, you can only appear in a proper tuxedo, and there's a lot of ways around it. I love, like in Thomas Crown Affair.
He's wearing a tuxedo T-shirt. It was pretty cool.
No, he's wearing a suit with an open shirt and no tie, and I was like, okay, all right, that's fair.
That's allowed.
He's wearing a black suit.
But I would love to see Pierce Brosnan in a tuxedo T-shirt.
I would too.
And then, I think
that'd be very funny. So Dracula now offers a trade. You give me the monster, I'll give you back Beckinsale. But what I like about the end of this is they both know they're going to try to fuck each other over on this.
Yeah.
They're just like, he's going to try something. I'm going to try something. He knows I'm going to try to do. It's just like, they're just so evenly matched. I love it. I love the...
And Dracula's just like, I can't wait to see what Van Helsing's going to try to do.
Because literally the bride is going like, he's not just going to give you the monster. It's like, oh, I know that. That's what this fucker does. All right, and it is something I love. I love it when you get to this place in the Hammer movies where they've been battling each other, and they're just like, you're gonna, and then I'm gonna, and that's just what we do, man.
That's our thing.
That's our thing.
And now we come to,
and you have Dracula going, Gabriel, do you not know who I am?
Yeah,
Gabriel.
Yeah, and once again, and he's the Dracula. When he does the whole thing is, I am Vladislav Dracula.
Ladies and gentlemen,
yes, the masquerade.
I give you Van Helsing.
Man, pure comic book supervillain moment. It's a masquerade party, and they're all fucking vampires.
Right? Masquerade party. We have to drill down a little bit because this was so formative for me. It is why I demand fancy parties, at least one fancy party in every D&D campaign I'm in, because something's gotta fucking happen at a fancy party.
I love it. Well, we mentioned Mask of Zorro. I love the big fancy parties in that movie too. I do love.
And this one I kept waiting for Masquerade.
That's also what I was thinking.
A different shade.
Oh, because it's an All Hallows Eve party. Come on.
It
is All Hallows Eve. It's in Castle Dracula, which exists in a mirror dimension.
He's got circus
No.
I know.
It's a different palace.
Okay, it's different.
I'm not gonna let. Listen. I respect your problems, but I will not let you invent ones.
I respect your problems, and that's. I love that we have mutual respect for each other's problems.
Yeah.
You're right, though. You're right. They haven't solved the non-tricky
They haven't
puzzle.
solved the ice door
I love
puzzle
the whole
yet.
thing with Carl going like, well, the problem is, it's like we've got that tapestry, but there's no way of knowing what that one corner has. And then he's like, I think I do. You mean the thing that was set up at the very beginning?
My favorite note that I wrote is, map is really mirror that is really portal.
Yep. Yep.
It's great though, but that's the thing, and it fits.
Again, comic booky. I don't have a problem with that.
It fits the vibe of the movie. The movie is so and if this was taking itself more seriously the whole time, I would be like, what? But it's so, everything in this is so. I mean, Dracula's got circus performers at his masquerade.
He does, and everyone's a vampire.
And everyone's a vampire. I love the scene where, I love the bit in the masquerade scene where he like spins her in front of the mirror, and oh, you don't have a reflection, but it's like, hey, wait a minute,
nobody
has a reflection. Oh shit.
I also love
they're
doing this like sensual dance, and you're like, that's weird, and then he's like, how does it feel to be a puppet on my string?
Yeah, this is
and
the
then
whole
you're like,
thing
hey,
of like,
wait, isn't this her like great grandfather or something?
Yeah, I know. But what I like is
great uncle or something.
What I like about it though, well, this guy doesn't care. But also just like the idea about like part of it is just like, oh, you don't like this, do you? That's what I like. It's just like, that's right.
Yeah.
Are you? The whole thing is just like, are you freaked out yet? Am I freaking you out?
I'm really scary, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're
there's-
scared, right?
Yeah, you're scared, or
Ooh.
you're getting kind of turned
Yeah.
on.
Well, either
And
way,
she's doing that
either
thing
way,
of like,
I'm good with it,
fighting
man.
his will. His
Yeah.
will is
Well, I-
powerful.
Vampires are so sexy.
I actually I think she is really good here. The way she's physically doing all the stuff, but she's playing the like, you're disgusting,
Yeah.
you're evil. Of course, she looks great in this crazy, comic booky
she's also
gown.
apparently an attractive woman.
Well, she's all right.
All right.
But once again, but it's not the overdone leather cat
Pretty
suit of the
spooky,
underworld.
huh, folks?
It's a spook. But yes,
Yeah,
and of course,
werewolf bar mitzvah, spooky,
scary. Boys becoming men, men becoming wolves.
wolves.
It's the best. One of my favorites. And of course, if there's a trapeze, Van Helsing's got to get on it, man. Here he
Apparently.
comes. And I almost want.
And this is one of those typical action movie things, because Summers, just like in the Mummy movies, he's using all the tropes, including the he goes, like, the sidekick will say something like, I don't know how we're gonna get in there, and then the hero guy goes, I have an idea. Then the sidekick will say, am I gonna like it? And then the hero goes, no. And it's sort of like, okay, we tick that box. That happens here.
No, I almost want him to go like, hey, you're gonna swing on the trapeze, aren't you?
You're gonna, yeah, exactly.
And he does.
He
Well,
does.
once again,
he totally swings on the
He
trapeze.
swings on the trapeze, but then Dracula raises, everyone's a vampire. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Well,
bring it.
luckily,
Fucker.
but what
What's
Dracula.
up, fucker?
That's my favorite Dracula line.
Yeah,
what's up,
same.
fuckers? But then what Dracula doesn't know, Carl may have a sunlight bomb on him.
He may have, and then he goes, "Oh, I figured out what this is for." While the audience goes, "Late to the party, man. I figured it out
But
immediately."
these
Well, hey,
vampires
listen.
go up.
Listen, using a sunlight bomb on 1 or 2 vampires, that's overkill. But if you've got a house full of vampires,
It's like
oh,
he
yeah.
watched the Blade movies and went like,
Well,
"Oh."
I mean, I will say that nothing beats the sunlight bombs of Blade 2, but
I did like. I mean, the shot is cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
When they're disintegrating, and then you cut to the outside, and you literally see that sunlight bomb went through every nook and cranny of that castle.
Oh, yeah, man.
So the light just shoots out of the windows of the entire castle. You're
Castle
like, "That's
Dracula
pretty
just supernovas, basically. It's awesome. I loved it, and they escape.
cool." Dracula. He hasn't been thrown into the furnace yet, has he? Or is this where he
That was
thrown
at the
into
beginning of the
furnace?
movie.
Yeah,
At the
that
very
was
beginning.
that was no. That's where
Where
he
he
got thrown.
throws into the fireplace.
Oh, okay. And he
Yeah, that
comes
was-
out and just reforms.
That was
Yeah.
the,
I couldn't
the-
remember where that happened.
That
in
was
the
where
movie.
no, because that's after he kills
Oh,
Dr.
yeah,
Frankenstein,
sorry,
and the
sorry.
monster throws the pylon at him.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we kind of
Okay.
just ran through that prologue, but that's okay because we've been here all day anyway. So
I know.
So they do find because this is actually Castle Frankenstein, isn't it? Because later they have to get to the secret entrance to Castle Dracula, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the initial castle is the Castle Frankenstein. The house with the masquerade is like his winter palace, or no, his
Yes,
summer palace.
He does
That's
say
right,
this
yeah.
is my summer palace.
And
yes.
let's just say I have a diversified real estate profile.
Listen, I'm
Portfolio.
hundreds of years old. I'm
Yeah.
extremely
I mean,
rich.
actually,
Yeah.
the intricacies of real estate purchases are kind of a key part of the Dracula story.
it's kind of a big thing in
Yeah.
Dracula.
It's very classic.
You know, it's just a good idea to diversify
So
your
tell
properties.
me, Carfax Abbey,
Yeah.
does the sun really catch it in the morning? Where are the main
Let's
windows
just say, okay,
face?
I see there's a basement here. How does that play into square footage?
I
how is
have
that
to
included?
say, that kitchen with the island,
Yeah.
very appealing.
Now,
I
is
like
it-
the marble island in the middle of
How
the kitchen.
big is
I
this
must
shit?
say, I'm not a fan of this open floor plan trend. I
It's-
need
What is
walls.
It's a little
Linoleum?
too-
You're taking some money off of this.
Yeah, a
I'm
little too
sorry.
modern for me.
Linoleum. That's gaudy.
Now, I love a creepy crawly, but termites, that's not going to be good for resale.
What is that, an armadillo?
Renfield can't eat termites.
Yeah, I'm going to need an additional dwelling unit for Renfield. I can't have him in the main house. He stinks.
He stinks. He's a
I-
stinky
I-
little boy.
He
And
probably
that's
does.
saying something because I am undead
Yeah.
and famously we reek.
Yeah, but Renfield, oof.
But so the creature has been captured.
The creature now has been captured. That's
Van Helsing and Dracula were right in that they both tried to fuck each other over.
Yep.
It's what we do.
That's what they do.
And so yes, they have to get to Castle Dracula. We talked about they discovered the portal through the that's in the map.
They're like, oh, what if the map itself
in the name of
is
God.
the door?
Open this door.
Yeah.
In the name of God. Yeah, God. Once again, you
The
need
only thing that
someone
was
with the gravitas
missing
of a Jackman to say something like that.
Like this little phrase. You probably could have just kept trying and come up with something. You didn't. It's like, man, we are missing 4 words from this enormous wall-sized spell.
You also have to
casting.
Yeah,
say
it's
it, though.
weird that it is weird that right, it has to make the movie go, and I'm fine with that personally.
Okay.
But it is strange that a couple generations ago that got sent to the Vatican.
Yeah.
That
the
little
one
bit.
sliver. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank God Van Helsing was there to figure it out. Like, I think I know
Also,
what goes there.
I didn't
Listen, it's all God's plan.
I didn't catch this, but apparently right before Dracula says, "I give you Van Helsing," there's a brief few notes of the Castlevania theme.
What?
That's what it says. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I gotta go back.
I
and
wouldn't have
rewatch
I am gonna
recognized
go
it.
watch this movie.
Yeah,
today.
apparently it's just faintly in there. There's just
I never played the game.
A couple of the musical phrases.
I have
Oh.
watched the first season of
the show is
cartoon,
great. I love the show.
and it's back.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
back. Oh man.
I can't believe you haven't watched it,
in the-
Brendan. It is so made for us. It's so in love with Universal Monster and Dracula craziness.
As long as you totally remove it from any other iteration, where you're like going, what?
Yes, yeah,
I'm sorry,
I know,
huh?
but that's
Dracula and
That's how-
Alucard.
This
That's
becomes
That's how stories
the-
evolve
the eternal-
over time. You
this
can't
is
just tell the same story over and over and
this is
over
the-
and over and over again.
the eternal battle.
Well, you know,
between
I
us.
think that at that you're right. At this point, I've got a radical retake on Superman, in which
Okay.
he is.
Well,
you know-
there have been radical retakes on Superman. You don't like those.
no, that's my
Yeah.
my gag.
Yeah.
See.
That's
Is that at what point does an icon just become a name that you could attach to anything?
Well, I take it case by case. Anyway, how about the very comic booky idea that Dracula has encased the Frankenstein creature in a big block of ice to trap him? Love it.
Sure.
Crazy, impractical, makes no sense. But in this crazy ice, because I do he's basically living in an ice palace. It's a castle encased in ice, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is just cool.
Yeah, Van Helsing sticks his hand through and he goes, "Hey, it's cold and snowy on the other
And
side."
also, as
Taking Winter Palace a little literally there, bud.
Uh-huh.
I have a summer place. I have a winter place.
This is my friend Heat Miser,
Yeah.
and this is my friend Snow Miser.
Get them, boys. Those are his henchmen in this.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Rankin Bass could have done a crossover because they also did
They
Mad
did
Monster
the-
Party.
yeah.
Mad Monster
Oh,
Party.
that would have been cool.
Mad Monster Party comes up so much on this show, as it
Well,
should.
it
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It is a monster rally. It's got all of them,
I
including
think somebody
Gilman.
was like, "You guys ever gonna do that?" It's like, well, it's not really a movie. I don't really know. We might do
Mad
something.
Monster.
I have thought about doing something for Patreon about just the Saturday.
We have
morning.
yet to do anything that has Phyllis Diller in it, so I think we should.
There's been a supreme lack of Diller on this show.
Lack of Diller.
Yeah. Also, we know Dracula. They mentioned it earlier. He has the cure to lycanthropy, I guess.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and in the most comic book way, of course, it's suspended in magical water.
acid or
Yeah, I don't know
something?
what
In
it is.
viscous fluid.
Yeah,
that's
viscous
what Carl keeps saying. I don't want to put my hand in viscous fluid.
I love this. Might be the movie that says viscous fluid the most of any movie.
Yeah. Plus, the viscous fluid, we don't know why. They never explain why it has this reaction. In other words, once that bubble is broken and they're getting the hypodermic, it seems to be like holy water. It's actually eating away things.
Yeah.
The vampire lady's like, ah.
Oh, that's
And I'm
cool. That's a cool effect when her face is all messed up and burned. I like
Yeah,
that.
and she's like, I'm gonna get you. Look at half of my face.
And of course, we get Van Helsing demanding. It's not a Stephen Sommers movie if Kevin J. O'Connor doesn't get shaken down by someone.
Fucking bodied around.
Yeah. Hey, look, come on, man. What I love about
this one, he doesn't play a character that is almost good occasionally, or is at least pretending to be with the good guys, and then will betray them. Here, he's just Igor, and he's always a piece of shit.
He's a little bit. He's not ever fully on their side here, but he kind of goes along with it.
There's the whole thing of like, sorry, Dr. Frankenstein,
he pays
me.
But here we have, what I'm saying, here we have where it's like, I'm afraid of Van Helsing, so I'll go along with you. But as soon as like Van Helsing's away, then he tries to kill the creature. You know, like he's still just coward. I mean, he's not. Yeah, he never.
No, he's fun. I got no problem with
fun. Kevin J. O'Connor.
He's always great.
I don't know that there's anything that isn't improved by his presence. He's
the
just,
thing is,
he's a guy who gets the assignment. You know, I think he's
gets
a guy
the assignment.
He adapts.
He plays into that voice, that like the cracky voice thing that he does.
Yes.
He's cinema's perfect weasel.
He really is, and he's still working to this day, man.
God bless him.
I don't know what Exorcism at 60,000 feet is, but I have to see it, and apparently he's in that.
Wow.
Ooh,
that does sound good.
It does sound kind of fun. It's him and Lance Henriksen and Adrian Barbeau. So
Adrian Barbeau.
Hell yeah, man! I kind of want to see that now. So anyway, they split up. Van Helsing's gonna go get the creature, while Anna is gonna get the werewolf solution.
Yeah.
With
she's
Carl.
still determined to save. She was determined to save her brother, and she didn't. But now she's determined to save Van Helsing.
Someone is going to stop.
Hey
man, there's going to be some hunky guy who's going to stop being a werewolf. You know.
Yeah,
that's her.
It's
somewhere in this movie.
Listen, much like Eowyn. This is the first hot guy that she's seen that isn't her brother, okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's exactly like Eowyn. But they do kiss.
By the way, I've read some of your fan fiction, Elliot, and it's very disturbing.
How did you get your hands on that?
I thought that was scrubbed from the internet. They do kiss here, and I don't dislike, but I don't know that they needed to kiss. That's the only thing I'll say. Is this definitely? I did hear somebody say this somewhat recently, where they go like, the studio always wants a kiss in every movie. And that's all I could think of when I saw it. And once again, it's not. I don't immediately reject it, but I just go like, I don't know that they had to kiss here. But I can just feel Universal going, you put Kate Beckinsale and Hugh Jackman, you're not going to have locked lips.
The thing,
and
with,
that's fine. Like I said, I'm not angry about it.
Things like Speed, where it's implied that over the course of an extremely tense, very narrow frame of time, because again, Anna and Van Helsing have known each other 4 days now or something.
Yeah,
it hasn't been a long time. I like the implication. There are a lot of, and they do a good job of like, there are a lot, and Stephen Sommers is going to zoom in on it, where they're looking at each other. It's like, I mean, appreciate you, and you're incredibly attractive.
It doesn't,
but we got shit to do. So I like the thing of an ending where it's like, yeah, maybe it never got to that stage, but they recognize in each other. Oh yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't have the romance of Rick and Evie from The Mummy, which is just you can't. That was pure magic.
That you can't recreate that.
There's
only one.
I'm not
Rachel Weisz. Rachel.
Yeah,
Weisz.
Sadly, Brendan, we have another Mummy movie coming up in a few weeks that doesn't have her, which is the
why are we watching it?
Cardinal sin of that movie. But
why are we watching it?
Like I said, I'm not against it. It's just I don't know that it needed to be here. It doesn't ruin anything.
It didn't ruin it.
It did feel like somebody going like they better kiss.
Well, also since they knew from the script that she's not going to make it out of this movie.
I was about to say the reason that they had to kiss was because she's gonna die. So
it has to be more tragic because there was the beginnings of a romance there. That's another thing I have to say too is
Steve barely got a kiss from Peggy Carter before he went into the ice, man.
Yeah, but yes.
And they made the jokes about it's like, dude, you're 85, 90 years old and you're still a virgin because you had one kiss with a girl before you ended up frozen.
Nothing wrong
I love Steve and Peggy forever.
Of course.
Steve and Peggy
but
forever. If it's a good kiss, that's all you need.
We'll get to that, but I also would argue, does her character have to die? That's always been a little
No, she does. No, that's the thing. That's Again, okay, maybe I have 3 problems with this.
Well,
I'm
attaching her death to my problem with the ending of People in the Sky.
Yes, that's fair. Same.
I don't really know what in her arc required.
You know why I think they did it is they were already thinking of a series.
But I think it could have been.
And I think they knew that they would not be able to keep Beckinsale. No, but I think, she's over on Underworld.
Totally, but I think there could have been an ending where she's like, "I'm going to stay here in Transylvania and protect my people." And you're gonna ride off and fight people across the world. I don't know.
Maybe.
Also, her death is
they
kind of
wanted to leave it open to actress of the time. The next movie would have been another
actually in the
hot actress.
In the trivia, they talk
her.
about Stephen Sommers really wanted her, but didn't send her the script because he thought she wouldn't be interested because she was already doing Underworld.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Nah, she's not gonna want to say yes to this," and then she did.
She's like, "Do I get to do the accent?" He's like, "Yes."
What was we talking about? Because while it's similar, like subject matter, it's a wildly different character.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right, let's get to the end of this thing. I do like that Carl and Igor have a fight because it's like, oh yeah, like the sidekick guys have to fight each other. Sidekick. We basically are cutting between 3 fights down the stretch here, right? You have Anna versus the remaining bride / then the creature gets involved in that too.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And then you have Carl v. Igor.
Yep, the Weasley sidekick guys are battling.
Which is basically Carl running from a cattle prod.
Yeah.
That's Igor's weapon of choice.
Frankenstein ends that fight too.
Yes, he swings on a rope from that fight. Well, but that's where Carl has the choice about whether or not to destroy him because he's hanging off of the rope, and instead of cutting the rope, he frees him so he can swing back into the castle. That's Carl's moment of the monster has saved him, and so he realizes he should be saved.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I think that I like that stuff.
Okay.
And meanwhile, so then the monster is like, I'll fight this bride bat lady. You get that cure to Van Helsing to Anna. So then I do like that because at first it's always that thing we talk about in action movies. It's like, well, you got to have the female lead so she can fight the female villain because people don't. But I do like that fight ends and the monster is now fighting. I'm like, oh, good, yeah, okay, here we go. I want to see the Frankenstein monster tossing around this vampire bride. But Beckinsale does get the kill shot with the stake.
Yeah,
which is what you want because she promised that earlier. It was that line I liked. Yeah, put a stake to your heart. So yes, let's talk about Van Helsing as a werewolf because he does wolf out here.
He's got a glossy black coat.
Yeah. He really.
He's got the dark hair.
He's got the dark hair. He's already got the mane for it, right? Like it's there. But also, I do like where it's like, all right, well, we can't just have him turn into a werewolf. He needs to be Van Helsing werewolf. He needs to be hero werewolf. It's like he needs to be cooler than other werewolves. And Brandon, you don't like when we get to werewolf v vampire creature?
I love the concept of Wolfman fighting Dracula.
Of course,
which we never got in any of the films.
Not nowhere near. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about this movie. I keep saying it's like this does deliver on a lot lot of the goods of the Monster Rally.
It's ticking boxes that I want. It's just not doing them the way I want.
It's stuff I dreamed that. It's
big
it's the
CG werewolf Hulk.
I always
fighting big CG bat guy Hulk.
The thing about it, I was gonna say, is like when we did Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that was my favorite as a kid. But when we rewatched it, I'm going like, man, I remember this fight being a lot cooler than it.
You just get to the end of that movie, and then you get 3 minutes of stunt people awkwardly kind of
and like
grappling and tossing each other.
It's a lot of the Wolfman just swiping at the Frankenstein creature.
Yeah,
man, I remember this being a real throwdown.
It's not
at all. No, it's not the Battle of Titans I remembered from my childhood.
No.
And that the poster promises. The poster is infinitely more exciting than the movie where they both have each other by the throat and stuff.
Yes,
you're like,
and I would have been all in for that.
So that's a lot of what I like about this. Is I do feel like this is delivers on the promise of the bombast of the Monster Rally movie. Plus, it gives us a sweet action hero. In the center of it. So anyway, these two do throw down. Come on, man. A werewolf kills Dracula by slicing his throat open in this.
Sure.
I need that in my life. I need that.
It's a good thing that no werewolf before this one ever took a swipe at Dracula. Otherwise, he would have been fucked.
That's kind of the case, right? I mean, that's the thing about he's basically and no one knew that, and he's so instantly like put these werewolves down and made them his henchmen. But that's what I like about that, where it's like, oh, I've been enslaving them because they could actually kill me, so I'm just going to make sure I get the upper hand instantly on these things.
It's a weird concept. I mean, because Summers has come up with his own origin for vampires, which is yet another strange, like, and then there was a deal with the devil and all that stuff. You're like, okay, all right, whatever.
Well, we've seen 800 origins for vampires on this show.
Oh, I know. And but it seems almost arbitrary that he's like, in order to make my story work, okay, werewolves are the thing that can kill vampires.
Sure.
Or Dracula specifically. And
Dracula specifically, that's right. Because none of the other stuff.
What does that have to do with any of it?
Did we talk about the
all right, Steven.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. It's cool. Because it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I
vampires are only vulnerable to people with British accents. So Dracula stays
I don't know.
in Romania.
It's not quite.
Because anyone that shows up, pardon me.
It's not. Like, but it's not that quite insane because it's the supernatural v supernatural aspect of it. They're born of whatever the thing is. I said I don't know.
You know one thing we haven't mentioned at all. One of my least favorite things in the entire movie.
What's that?
Dracula Oompa Loompas.
Oh, his little henchmen guys, right?
Dracula Oompa Loompas.
They didn't really have much of a point, did they?
They're action movie cannon fodder, right? It's classic thing where it's like it's like AIM guys, right?
We already know that Dracula has all these vampire friends that go to his fancy parties, which Elliott, I'm gonna make sure you're invited to the next one.
Hey, those are nobles. They're not gonna do the grunt work.
Yeah, but he's the king of the.
He doesn't. What he doesn't.
They should do whatever he asks them to.
Igor, but his thralls.
He's got Igor, and then we have.
They do really read in the Bond. But it's like it is in the Bond thing of they're like the Spectre guys in jumpsuits, where it's like you just need guys.
Which could
around.
have just been normal vampire people. The fact that he made them these weird little imps in armor.
Yeah, also, I mean, I'll say this, and this not that this movie's trying to save money, but that does allow you to dress up the same 10 stunt guys again and again and again.
Yeah.
That does read, I agree, that reads, but it's like, that's a classic lazy action movie.
It's just excess. It's just more Stephen Summers going like, I can do it, so I'm gonna. Like I said, and every time I'm gonna show the guy on the little... Every time they go back to that lab, they show the one little Oompa Loompa guy on the sort of.
They're not exactly Oompa Loompa. I mean, you're saying that, but just for people's vision, they're not like small in stature per se. They're just.
No, they are.
Are they?
They're literally little people.
Were they?
Yes, with little armor on, like goth armor, and then the one scene where the creature pulls the mask off one of them and it has weird teeth and it's like and he just tosses it through a window.
It does feel like he could have just had thralls, or I mean, certainly Renfield. Guys under his control or something,
or vampires.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yes, or exactly.
And they could even be in weird armor or cloaks or whatever you want to put them in. Yeah. It just seemed like such a unnecessarily I'm just throwing more shit at the wall.
It's not well thought out. It's. I agree. It's just not that. That's not particularly well thought. I always just kind of forget about them because they don't make much of an impression.
They don't.
Yeah.
But they do have that cool, very catchy song that comes up.
Brendan,
I've got another riddle for
Brendan,
you.
I think once again you've stumbled into some special features. I think that was a deleted scene. I forgot about the Dracula Army song. So Dracula's been taken down. This is the thing too. Not only do I think Kate Beckinsale doesn't need to die, she dies in a real weird he kills her, doesn't he? I can't.
Yeah. So
but then she has no marks or.
It's very strange because the amount of hits that she has taken over the course of this movie, it is very strange that getting pounced on into a settee by the window is what kills her.
There's no blood. He doesn't stab her or scratch her or bite her or anything.
What's supposed to be implied is that he charges her, and we're seeing it from behind. Yeah. And Carl, the focus is actually on Carl during this, which is odd. She has that hypodermic, but he lunges at her, throws her into the settee. But from behind, it's all about Carl's decision. I just have to kill him. So I've got the silver. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
And then the werewolf stops and starts to shed its thing. And then he's like, oh, good, I don't have to kill him. And he turns around and, oh, there's the hypodermic. Hey, I got the cure. But then we confusingly see Anna just laid out on the settee and she's dead. And we don't know from what. Did she hit her head really hard?
So there's
Did he slash her open?
There's no blood. There's no. It seems like she just. I think it's another case of this keeps going around for heroines of the mid 2000s. She lost the will to live, just like Padme. I think it's another.
I do think that it's like it's. I think that it's supposed to be implied that she died of impact, but it doesn't make sense.
No,
so
it doesn't.
It's just
if that's the case, it needed to be way better portrayed.
And she does die in repose, like beautifully.
She's gorgeous. It's a classic movie, gorgeous dead woman.
And thank God we're spared Hugh Jackman ass, but he's basically standing there looking at her like.
Imagine how distracted we would have been if we had seen this.
I lost Anna. By the way, Buns.
I just love the idea that literally that was a test audience thing. They were going like, wait, what happened? I just lost all focus once his ass was
once his ass was in my face.
That's why they do it early in Days of Future Past, right? Like it's right when he wakes up in the past. They're like, let's get it out of the way. Now you can focus on the movie, all right?
Yes. You've seen, now we're back to the plot proper.
And actually, when I saw that movie, people were like, well, that's all I paid for. I'm ready to go. I don't need to see them fight these Sentinels. I just needed to see that. It is impressive, I will say. He does have it's a Van Damme level of buns, no question. Van Damme would
more on this.
Van Damme would have tried to sue a movie if they CGI'd out his buns, I think.
Right.
Like, no, that goes on the contract.
I work hard on my butt.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and of course he's holding her as she's dying, and in wolf form he does howl at the moon.
He does.
He's very upset. Like I said, this beat has never landed with me. I just sort of accept it as part of, but it doesn't really land.
Van Helsing is saved. Carl is happy. They're both sad that Anna died.
They light the funeral pyre for Kate. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like, I think the thing I don't like about it too is like, if he's responsible, is this meant to add to his guilt? But then he sees her in the sky with her family, and then he's like, oh, never mind. Actually, it's kind of good that she's dead.
His mission succeeded because they did kill Dracula before the family died.
And they all get into heaven.
All of her family gets to go to heaven.
Yeah, because he doesn't just see Kate Beckinsale up there. He sees her with the father and brother, and they all. But then it ends on just her gigantic face. That's always the dumbest part of this movie is her smiling face.
Clouds.
Don't do it.
Faces in clouds. Just don't do it.
And he puts his hat on, and he and Carl ride off into the non-existent sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a comic book of there was a tie-in comic book.
Yeah, I saw that there had been one.
Which is called Van Helsing from Beneath the Rue Morgue, which combines.
And it's also during the Dr. Hyde thing. I mean, the Mr. Hyde thing, right?
No.
I thought it was another prequel.
No, it is another prequel, but it's a different mission of his early on. It's actually him versus Dr. Moreau. And his
but I think it's supposed to be during the same time as his Paris mission.
The story begins in full. Van Helsing is just after the murder of Mr. Hyde. He's found guilty by authorities. Oh, so there's an entire story where he gets arrested and escapes from jail after that. So this comic's implying that between killing Mr. Hyde and this, he had a whole other mission of battling Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
That also apparently, I was just looking at the plot description of it, also tied in that Dr. Moreau is a contemporary of Dr. Griffin, and so there's also implications of an invisibility formula in there too. There's a lot going on in this comic.
They're just literally like, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, but then also, of course, they tie Moreau to the murders in the Rue Morgue, so you get the gorilla stuff in there too. Boy, wow, that's a lot going on there. I kind of want to read it. I'm just curious. That was from Dark Horse that came out around the same time.
That makes sense. They were grabbing those licenses.
Yeah, and apparently there was also, once again, some kind of drawing of a gill man in the background of something. They really are just like
really wanted that, huh?
They really wanted that. And so
I want more Gilman in my life just in general.
This movie cost $160 million. It topped out the box office at about $300 even. So once again, not like, and like I said, it made a ton on DVD sales and stuff like that. So this movie is not like this. Nobody got destroyed. Nobody bankrupted or anything on it. It just, they were really thinking this thing was going to explode at the cinema. And instead it like did okay. It got mostly bad reviews except for a couple of people, mainly Roger Ebert, who just loved it.
I remember being excited pre it coming out. I think I told you once.
Was this the burger? Was it Burger King?
It was Burger King or Taco Bell had the tie-ins where you would get these cool little lenticular plaques with each of the creatures on it.
Yep.
And nice. I went back to get all three.
Yep.
I had Dracula, and then I saw the movie and I was like, oh, I guess I can. Put these away now.
Like I said, and then there's me, who in 2023 is on eBay looking for merchandise from when this came out.
Again, as far as iconography, he looks cool.
Well, Sideshow
I'm
Collectibles.
Not a fan of the design of any of the creatures.
If anybody wants to write in and tell me where I can find a reasonably priced, Sideshow Collectibles did a nice 12-inch figure of him.
Dude, really I would get an action figure of Solomon Kane and just say, I'm cutting out the middleman and going to the original source material.
Yeah, I know, but this one comes with the buzz saws and the crossbow, and I need the buzz saws and the crossbow, man. Yeah, they never made any of the other characters in that high a level of. There is also a playset diorama of the coach chase.
Oh,
you can get a figure set of the coach being chased by the vampire brides, which I'm also.
Oh shit!
At this point, you can see that Elliott has now.
Elliott's like, wait a minute,
what they want for Christmas.
Elliott, your birthday's coming up.
I don't have room for any of that stuff.
Your birthday's coming up, Elliott?
Yeah, it's on the 18th
of October. You're almost a Halloween baby.
I'm almost a Halloween baby,
which is pretty good. Cool. That makes sense. I just wanted.
Oh crap! I just remembered. Hey. John, don't let me forget that Jerry's birthday is like next week. So,
all right. Who knows when you'll actually be hearing this? Anyone that's listening, but we're getting a lot of stuff scheduled. I just want to see what were the big hit movies of that summer that weren't this. Spider-Man 2 just kind of dominated summer before. Which fair?
I mean, hey, listen.
Spider-Man 2.
Hey, listen, maybe that's why there was so much swinging, is because Spider-Man was so big.
Spider-Man was so... Actually, Ebert references Spider-Man in his review about the swinging, so because he also loved those Spider-Man movies.
He should.
As we always talk about, Ebert was the, mainstream critic who was a nerd. I'm always surprised, when we did the Blade movies, he's just like, these Blade movies rule. It's just like, for being, film snob, whatever. He really wasn't a film snob, for being highfalutin guy who would go to Cannes and he would also be like, what ruled? Blade 2. So that's one of the reasons I love him so much. The other one was iRobot. You remember iRobot was huge. That movie made a ton of money.
I didn't even see it in the theater. I saw it when it came on cable.
It's pretty good.
There was something about the trailers that never grabbed me, and I watched the movie. And it was okay.
I will say, though,
it's one of those okay movies where I was like, all right.
The thing that
it just went out of my head.
The thing that saddens me, by the way, Van Helsing was the 8th highest grossing movie of the year. So not a disaster. But number one highest grossing movie of the year was not Spider-Man 2. It was Shrek 2. Lest we forget it was 2004. Shrek 2 made all the money.
Man, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go.
We mentioned Antonio Banderas. I think Shrek 2, that cat really, and there's a cat. Elliott has a cat.
Hero.
Yeah.
I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light.
Well,
thank you very much.
So we almost did 3 hours on this, which is about what I was saying. Can we clock it in at under 3? And we did, so that's good. But next week on the show, I feel like possibly a less contentious episode. Elliott will be back. This is 2 weeks in a row. We're going to have Elliott with us. And Brendan, I don't believe you've seen next week's movie, if that's correct, I think is what we talked about. It is Wes Craven's Cursed.
No, never seen it.
Yeah, this is Wes Craven's werewolf movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember liking it. I mean, I'm a huge Wes Craven fan. One of my absolute favorite horror directors.
He's one of those that, like Carpenter, when he's on,
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah.
But also there's plenty of clunkers in that filmography.
There's plenty of clunkers, but I find that in general, even some of the clunkier ones are still more watchable than a lot of the garbage we've.
Hey, I like New Nightmare.
I love New Nightmare. Do people not like New Nightmare? They're crazy if they.
A lot of people that don't.
Too meta for people, I think.
Yeah, they don't like the meta thing. And they're like, great. Yay, I wanted to see Robert Englund play himself.
Wes Craven's Cursed. We've got Christina Ricci, Jesse Eisenberg. Good cast. I haven't seen it in a long time. Joshua Jackson.
Oh my God. I don't want to wait. For our lives to be over.
I'm very
watch
curious.
This movie right now.
It's going to be a much different experience, I think. But we'll talk about Cursed with Elliott back on the show next week. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
Who swing around a lot and also occasionally will swoop down and they'll grab up people and drop them and then swoop down and grab them again and pull them up and drop them.